go. All right, what's going on, everyone out there? Welcome to episode number 13. It's 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast. I am your host, NES22, aka Jeremy, and of course, I am always joined, of course, by my awesome podcasters. Of course, JP, aka Double Shot J, and the man himself, Moodz616. We got a full show for you guys tonight. Well, sort of a full show for you guys tonight. We can start out with the news with JP like we always do every week. Then we're going to be hopping into Mood Swings and the question of the week, which was your top 5 favorite Scream Factory releases that you have in your collection. And then we'll be hopping into a interesting discussion on the 6 Leprechaun films starring the legendary Warwick Davis. If you guys aren't already, please head over to iTunes. We are now on iTunes. Everyone thanks JP for, taking time out of his busy day and fucking fixing that shit and getting us up there on iTunes. So if you guys want to go over there on iTunes and follow us and download the show, you can go over there on iTunes and do that. Or you could, of course, listen to it where you are right now here on Moodz616 channel. Or you could click the low down below and download it from Mediafire and put it on whatever the fuck you want. So I think that
lots of ways to get it. You could also get it at knowyourhorror.com or thedevilseyes.com.
Yep.
There's iTunes links everywhere. You'll be able to find the iTunes link, and any other link, it'll be on Facebook or on the webpage where you're looking at it, or on the description of the YouTube video. The links are there.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting that you used the word interesting to describe our upcoming conversation on the Leprechaun series.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to be fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Especially freaking Leprechaun 4 like I was talking about earlier. So, lots of an interesting discussion coming up, and we might even talk about Vampircon, but
fucking Vampircon.
That's enough, JP. Let's get us started with the news.
Alright, so the news this week, nothing too crazy. There's not really a whole bunch of exciting things. We do have a little update on Saw 8 and Insidious 3. Somebody interviewed the people behind those at South by Southwest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Insidious 3 is moving forward. They're not using the 2 main characters, but they will have Lin Shaye back in kind of probably a more main role, which is always a plus for me because I really like Lin Shaye. I think she's fantastic. I think she's perfect in the roles that she plays. She's just a really cool horror kind of character actor. Kind of.
I still need to see the second one, man.
Yeah. So yeah, they're just, a little update. It's still happening. They want to start fresh, which I'm as long as they continue the story. I think they can't get, they don't feel like they could get everybody back again, but if they just go with Lin Shaye and kind of have it a spin-off story or something, I think that's kind of the direction they're going, which I'm fine with. I'm not expecting Insidious 3 to be as big as the previous 2, but I do think there's more stories to tell there. Yeah, no comments.
What about Saw? I fucking don't care about Insidious.
Saw.
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't even seen the Insidious 2 yet, so I don't really got an opinion on it right now.
Saw 8 is kind of still at the same place it was. They're not going into production quite yet, and he said Lionsgate will let him know when they do. So
really,
yeah.
I read that they said it was just all gossip, and it was rumors that they were making Saw 8, that nothing was really concrete.
Whenever I reported on Saw 8 first, there was a press release announcing a Saw 8. So if it comes directly from Lionsgate, it can't be gossip.
Well, I know Leigh Whannell, the guy who's fucking been associated with all the films, said that the people were tweeting him about the film, but he had no knowledge of anything from Lionsgate that it was actually getting made or anything like that. So I'm curious to see what happens.
Well, like with a lot of films, Friday the 13th Part 2 is a great example. They can announce something in a press release, and it could stay in development hell forever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not moving forward, but I don't know what the point of having a press release for it would be, if they wasn't going to have any movement on it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least it's not a remake.
Well, that was originally some like rumblings a couple months before.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and I was like, oh my god, that'll be so terrible.
yeah.
The only way it's gonna be good is if they keep the same characters. If they get fucking put that fucking Rocky bullshit where fucking Rocky's son's different in every film, it's gonna fucking blow. That's the one thing that I have to say about the Saw movies. They didn't fucking, do any wraparound with the fucking actors. They were pretty much the same actors throughout the entire series, which is, it was just pretty interesting and pretty enjoyable for a series if you've followed it like I did. Like, I followed all the films. I saw them all in theaters for some stupid ass fucking reason, but it's cool to see a film franchise, make 7 films, and it's like the Lethal Weapon series. That's a perfect example. Lethal Weapon, the 4 Lethal Weapon films, everybody's the fucking same in all 4 films. Even the fucking family of fucking even the family of the characters are the same throughout all 4 films. So it's kind of interesting to see that. We don't really see that much often, and I always think of Hatchet now whenever I think of films like that between the first and second film. But
it's very uncommon when you have more than a couple. You know what I mean? That's when you're really doing well, is if you can bring people back, because let's face it, people get uninterested and films start going downhill and they feel like they're just cash-in, so they don't want to be part of it anymore.
Yeah, the Lethal Weapon, that's a good example, because like the son and daughter, does it really matter if they're the same people? To some people, probably not, but it's very cool that they return for all the films.
Yeah.
Actually, literally see them kind of grow up on film. It's rare to have those type of characters return, like you said with the Rocky films.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I've not seen a single Lethal Weapon film, and I probably never will.
Oh,
why?
Dude, that is horrible.
Because 90% of my diet is horror now, and I don't even see how I'd have time to squeeze in another non-horror film.
They're actually pretty fun films.
They're
man.
fun.
I believe it. They're probably good. I used to watch so many horror genre films, and I've watched 5 in the past 4 months.
Yeah.
Yataro, or whatever the hell the name of this film is, I'm not really sure. It finished up principal photography last week. It's a film about an agoraphobic unwed mother who finds her psyche unraveling as she becomes convinced that her unborn child is more of a monster than a human. I thought this one sounded like it could be kind of fun. I like the agoraphobia angle, scared to leave the house and stuff. I like it. Being pregnant, I think it could be like a Grace / something like that. Sounds like it could be okay.
I actually just watched a movie recently with agoraphobic
bench
kind of angle to it. No, it was the film that came out last year, Citadel. Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah, I fucking hated that movie.
Yeah.
To be honest, I actually didn't really enjoy it either.
I thought it was fucking horrendous.
Man, I kept hearing a lot of people. I saw even last year's.
I think we talked about that. I think I told you that before, that I thought it was fucking horrendous.
Yeah, I think I remember that too. But I was quite surprised because I heard a lot of good things about it, and
I thought it was so boring.
And I even saw it make some people's top 10 lists and stuff, and I was like, wow. So I was stranded in the fucking airport. I watched it on Netflix one night.
I thought the ending was cool. That was the only cool part of the fucking whole movie.
Yeah, the ending was pretty decent, but yeah, the whole gore that would be a really fucking shitty disease to have.
Yeah.
Terrible. I couldn't imagine being just trapped in my house and I guess it's kind of by choice, but not really by choice, but
that's
a
whole
terrible
other
thing.
Fucking topic to get into is the how real it is and all that. I have a trouble believing some of the serious ones like that, like agoraphobia. I just don't get it. I don't know how your brain could be wired like that.
It's definitely a real thing. But...
Yeah, it's real. It's like Tourette's. Tourette's is a real thing, even though everyone fucking makes fun of it.
Tourette's is a weird disease too, because there's so many different levels of it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But agoraphobia
Wow.
is a weird one. Like, to not be able to step outside is just
I was just
so.
thinking the South Park game did not make fun of Tourette's. What the fuck? I was just thinking about that now that we're talking about Tourette's.
I mean, I just don't get it though. I don't understand. It's too complex for me to understand how you can't step outside. I don't get it.
But it's just like every phobia.
Yeah.
Like
Moodz is afraid of heights. How is that
I-
any different?
I'm terrified of heights, and that's like even thinking about it right now makes me gag. Like,
Yeah, like,
being up on a
I'm-
building ledge or something, I just
I'm
gag.
trying to get him to go up in the Sears Tower and go
I
on that
don't-
ledge thing that's leaning over the edge of the fucking
I mean,
side of the building.
I kind of have like I hate dishwater. I can't touch dishwater, but I say I can't, but I actually could touch dishwater. I mean, I could touch it. I just really dislike it.
That's so
Like I don't
random.
really, I
That
don't
is
get.
random.
It's hard for me to comprehend being able to actually not be able to. Like, I mean, if I had to, I would just touch it. Or if someone, I hate it to death. But I mean, I just, it's hard for me to understand, like, not being able to step outside. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like any phobia, though. I mean, certain
Yeah.
people, like, I mean, if you're not scared of heights, you know, if you're not scared of heights, you know, you look at me and go, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like,
that's
I mean,
that's phobias in general, though. I am
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah,
phobias.
I'll
in
talk
general.
about what
But-
my phobia is when we get off the fucking podcast, and you guys are all gonna laugh at me
Well, why don't you just say it right now?
because it's the stupidest phobia ever, and I'll sound like an asshole, and I'm not gonna say it.
yeah, I can't really think of anything else for myself.
Moots will
My-
know when he comes here, and I refuse to go into certain thrift stores. He'll understand when I fucking tell him.
Okay. Yeah, phobias are weird to me, man. I just don't get them.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it's so weird that I could be on Maury during one of the fucking weird
I
ass
hate
phobia
that shit.
shows. Yeah, I could definitely be on there with my phobia.
Ugh,
All
So-
right,
such trash TV, man.
I know.
Ugh.
oh yeah, it's I can't even talk about it. So Utario, whatever the hell it's called. The reason I found this to be interesting. Now, this could just be a way to kind of get some attention, marketing ploy kind of thing. Maybe it's not really true. Nobody's going to say their movie's bad or anything, but they say that it's going to be very character driven, structured in a similar fashion of the horror films of yesteryear. Audiences will be in for a treat as the story is original and not a retread of storylines that is all too common in today's market. They're saying the right things to get me interested, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds decent.
After
Not
that, this is just a little reminder. There really wasn't any news with this. They did release a bunch of images. I posted a couple of them in the Facebook group page. A new TV series called Salem is coming to the WGNA network. April 20th it premieres. And the posters and stuff look really cool. The images that they're releasing, it looks like some fun witchcraft stuff. It could be really, really neat. So definitely check that out if anybody's interested. And a while back, we talked about Rosemary's Baby being remade into a 4-hour miniseries. Turns out that's actually happening like right now. Like there's photos of it happening. So
Have they announced who's actually playing in this thing, starring in this?
yeah, but I don't really write that shit down because I'm bad at reading names, and if I don't know the name, then I don't really care to read it.
Also, all those horror buffs out there, fucking Fright Rags has a whole bunch of $10 shirts going on right now through Tuesday. So I think they have like 30 or 40 shirts up there that are $10 a piece. And anyway, you guys want to grab some Fright Rags and join the club?
Some great news right there, guys.
That's very inviting because you know how much I love my shirts. That's awesome. $10 shirts. That's a good price for Fright.
Yeah, they have like
man.
some Maniac shirts, and they have my the Street Trash one I have that you guys see me wear in some videos. And
See, my biggest problem with these sales is finding
Yeah.
the right size because I like to have my shirts a little bigger, but it seems like it's always smalls and mediums that are left, and I need like a double XL. Well, I wear a double XL because I have a really disproportionate body. I have like 30-inch. Seriously, I'm 6'1" and I have 30-inch legs. So my whole body is just torso. Like my torso is really long. So I need to find shirts that are long enough for me.
Mhm.
It's a pain in the ass. It's such a pain in the ass, man. So
Yeah, I wear shirts
size
a
is
little
always
bigger
gone.
also, but usually I'm good with a large. So
They have this
those
awesome.
are kind of common.
They have this awesome Seek the Plumber shirt I want to get.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, do they ship? How's the shipping to Canada on that, Moodz? Do they ship good to Canada, Freight Rags?
Well, Moodz, you're coming here in 2 weeks, so you could always just ship them to me and put them in your fucking suitcase.
Yeah, I actually don't even know. I've never actually bought anything from Fright Rags before.
Oh wow.
But I'm assuming it's probably pretty normal. I mean, who knows though?
Yeah.
Some clothing places are hit and miss with their shipping prices, so we'll see.
After that, we have some news on the Changeling remake, which I didn't even know was happening.
People are not very happy about this.
British filmmaker Jeremy Levering is prepping his potential next project, which is going to be the long-gestured remake of the 1980 masterpiece, The Changeling. And speaking with Fangoria, he went on to say and express his concern about doing something fresh and new, which is extraordinarily difficult with so many modern filmmakers use the classic, blah, blah. He basically goes on to say that he's got a script completed for it, but he's hesitant. He says he's really nervous about it for obvious reasons. The original is extraordinarily good. I just say, if you're already feeling this way, why remake it?
Okay,
Yep,
seriously, he's a little concerned about doing something fresh and unique and stuff. Well, how about start with not doing a fucking remake?
Yeah, but everyone's saying this Patrick remake. I was talking about this earlier on Facebook. Everyone's saying this fucking Patrick remake is really awesome.
I've heard multiple things. I try to avoid everything, but it's so hard to just not. I don't like reading reviews before I see a film.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I understand, it starts off good and goes downhill towards the later parts of the film. That's some of the reviews I've heard.
Yeah, I'm not watching it on demand. I usually watch most interesting films, but it's like, yeah, I could wait. I'll pay $1 for it and watch it, but I'm not fucking watching it right now.
Leprechaun, the remake, which, goes
thanks,
with today's show.
Thanks for giving me fucking credit for this one, JP.
Well, Jeremy did bring it to my attention.
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen it when I went to get the news.
Yeah, but I brought it to your attention 3 days ago, asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monday night, which is the night you will be listening to this podcast if you listen to it when we post it, WWE Studios is going to debut the first ever footage from Leprechaun Origins, the reboot starring WWE wrestler Hornswoggle.
I wonder if they're gonna do it. I wonder if they're gonna do it on Raw. I'm gonna fucking crack.
That's what I was.
I'm gonna laugh so hard.
That'd be great if
it does make sense because Monday is,
Yeah,
I was gonna say Leprechaun Day. Wow.
Oh yeah, and it's Leprechaun, and it's St. Patrick's.
St. Patty's Day, so yeah, it just kind of worked out real perfect for us.
This film's supposed to premiere in the summer, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited because this film, you will know everything you need to know based on like one clip.
Yep.
And I'm actually reserving my judgment. I'm not going to hate on it too much until I see something because they're really talking about how hard of an R it's going to be and how dark and serious it's going to be. So I'm just curious to see what that would look like.
I can't take Hornswoggle seriously, so
So he's not going to be talking in rhymes then?
Yeah, or fucking.
I don't know. No, probably not. But I mean, I can't really take. I mean,
he's supposed to be in the new Muppets movie, which makes me fucking laugh even more. It's like,
oh man.
After that, we have some DVD releases and announcements. Wolf Creek 2 is getting a video on demand release April 17th with a theatrical run May 16th.
That's fucking soon.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Fuck. That came out of nowhere.
Though.
Came out of nowhere.
I know it's already been
showing.
It
already premiered in Australia and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know Andrew did a review for it, I think the first day was out.
Yeah. That's a big one over there.
Yeah.
I like the first one a lot. So
Bet you it's online already if you want to watch it.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Me neither. I haven't done that one time. I'm just saying.
Yeah, everything's online if you want to watch it. It's so easy to see anything. Joyride 3. I reported about that a while back, and it's done. It's hitting DVD and Blu-ray or HD streaming services, I believe, June 3rd, and then on DVD and Blu-ray June 17th. So yeah, this is the third hellish installment of the Bloody series, directed by Declan O'Brien, who did Wrong Turn 4 and 5.
Those are awesome credits, man.
The nightmare begins when a group of young street racers take a desolate shortcut on their way to the Road Rally 1000, but a chance encounter with Rusty soon turns deadly as he stalks, taunts, and tortures his next victims with deranged delight. It's a full throttle, pedal to the metal, chill ride packed with killer twists and turns.
I don't know, man. I think it could be decent. I liked Wrong Turn 5 actually quite a lot. He kind of sticks with that type of angle and direction that he had in that. I don't know. It might actually work for this kind of, high, I guess more of an action type road horror thriller. How do you classify it? Something like that.
I think WWE Films is going to post that shit in 23 minutes.
I think it'll be tomorrow.
I think his style
could actually tomorrow, work.
Though. I think his style could work for it, though, man. So.
You know what? I think as long as they did get, who did they get to play Rusty now? I forget, but it's Ken Kersinger from Freddy vs. Jason, I believe. That's the Jason he was.
Yeah. Okay.
And as long as they have his voice right, I think it should be cool. After that.
Yeah, it's pretty much about the voice there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's like if you had Ghostface, not having Ghostface voice. The Incredible Big Bad Wolves is coming to DVD.
Oh my
22nd.
God. Oh, not another
by
one.
Magnolia Home Entertainment.
Oh,
what?
Magnolia. Interesting. Maybe it won't be that bad then.
What do you mean?
Magnolia's
This has got like a lot of good reviews, dude.
I know Magnolia has a pretty good fucking track record, so I don't know.
Why did you assume that it was bad?
Because most werewolf movies are shitty.
It's not a werewolf movie, dude.
What is it?
It's about a serial of brutal murders that puts the lives of 3 men on a collision course. The father of the latest victim now out for revenge. It's like a revenge tale.
Oh, okay. Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's got like tons of good reviews. I forget where it's from though.
Well, what about
country, I think.
What about Zombies versus Rustlers? Come on. I can't believe that movie's actually real. Do you see that trailer I sent you on Facebook?
Zombies versus Wrestlers?
Zombies versus Wrestler, and it's got Rowdy Piper, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Jim Hardy, Kurt Angle, all these fucking old wrestlers, and it's out. I sent the link on Facebook. I'll try and find it again, but it's hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah.
I like Roddy Piper, man.
Yeah, and freaking Hacksaw Jim Duggan, it's freaking hilarious lineup. It's hilarious.
Finally, for the DVD and Blu-rays, 2 classic films are getting released by Grindhouse Releasing on Blu-ray. You got Lucio Fulci's The Beyond and Cannibal Holocaust are getting Blu-ray releases. No word on the official date, but that's happening.
Man, seriously, I already have The Beyond on Blu-ray twice. I need to triple, that's crazy.
Is it released already on Blu-ray?
They're both Arrow releases. I have the Steelbook and then the Arrow release. But yeah, that's really cool that Grindhouse is releasing Cannibal Holocaust on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
because
that's cool.
I believe
you know what's absolutely funny is just, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, a month ago, I was commenting on Spooky Rotten Fun, one of his videos, and I was like, yeah, I've been waiting on Cannibal Holocaust to get like a Blu-ray release or something. I've never bought the DVD because I have a feeling as soon as I buy it, a Blu-ray will be announced or a new special edition or something. And he was like, I would just get it. I doubt it's going to get a release. So
I want to.
See what happens.
I want to say the fucking Grindhouse. I do sound like Gordon Ramsay, freaking swearing after everyone. I want to freaking say the
Frickin'.
Grindhouse releases. Will you please release Gone with the Pope? For fuck's sakes, please. That movie got like a 2-night theatrical run here in Chicago, and it was gone. Like never seen again, never been put on DVD or anything like that. And it's like I want to see that movie so bad. And it's like it's been out for like I think this was like 3 years ago or something already, and it never got a release. It's still on their website, so it's like Grindhouse releases. Please release Gone with the Pope.
Well, they're finally just getting back going, so you never know.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to go on with them. But you know what's funny, JP? Actually, on that video, in my comments, I even said that Cannibal Holocaust was coming on Blu-ray on Spooky Rotten Fun's update.
That same video that I commented on?
I'm pretty sure it's the same video. It's one
How
of the updates.
did you know?
I just was reading. I knew
So
that they were getting
this
released.
is old news then?
No, this is new, but this is, it's recent within the last whatever. But yeah, I came across it. I don't know.
Because this announcement was reported this week, so I thought it was new, but
yeah, maybe it's just I don't know. But yeah, I come across that. So, but yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome though, Cannibal Holocaust. But go figure, right? Pick up the DVD, the Blu-ray.
Yeah, which I didn't pick it up. I'm glad I didn't, because I was gonna be like, you know what, he's right. I'm just gonna grab it. But
I was really stoked though because maybe not the only. I shouldn't say the only, but the Shameless released Cannibal Holocaust on Blu-ray last year, but it's still actually a cut version though because it's still not fully uncut in the in the UK. So they have a fucking kind of like a cut version, but that's really cool that they're finally releasing over here. I don't really understand what took so damn long though. Cannibal Holocaust is one of those films that I think you put that shit out and it's gonna sell real well. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've never seen it. That's it for the news, guys. Not a whole lot going on this week.
Oh, you had some interesting stuff.
Oh, but really quickly before we move on to something else, I did want to say that I did catch the first episode of From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. And if you remember on our Lost episode, the Valentine's Day Lost episode, we talked about the El Rey network and how, it's kind of a cool network and stuff. I really like this network. I'll just throw it on and leave it on the TV. And I really like having it on at all times and stuff. But so From Dusk Till Dawn, our friends over at the Devil's Eyes also was talking about it on their interview with Clint Howard. And they really liked it. I, however, did like it, but I didn't think it was nearly as good as they did. It's interesting because it feels like it's almost the best performance that you can get at somebody trying to mimic. It's like this guy's playing George Clooney playing one of the Gecko brothers.
What movie are you talking about?
It's the Dusk Till Dawn, the series.
Oh, okay.
The first episode. So it's this guy is getting like George Clooney's mannerisms down, and he sounds like him, and it really does look like him, but it looks like he's playing George Clooney playing the Gecko brother. So it's kind of like this weird thing. But even the other guy feels like he's playing Tarantino playing. It really kind of does feel like the poor man's versions of them, which, I mean, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to get them. But it's basically the same story, but just slowed down and slightly different. It's like in the first scene of From Dusk Till Dawn when they blow up the gas station and stuff, like that is all the first episode. It looks interesting though. It's not. I've heard a lot of people talk, very bad about it before it came out. Preview reviews and stuff. And I gotta say, I was kind of surprised. It wasn't nearly as bad as people were making it out to be. And I'll definitely be back for episode 2.
Interesting.
Oh, and the El Rey network. If Rich is listening to this from the Devil's Eyes, the El Rey network isn't like a Mexican network. Like you can get it in the States. Like I have it on DirecTV and stuff. And I know you live near me, so you probably have it or can get it.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be getting that network.
Up in Canada,
Yeah,
Canada.
I don't think so. But
where it's all
yeah,
8-bit.
the network did look pretty cool though. I got
It
to
is
admit,
cool,
though.
man. It
Yeah.
really is. If you're a fan of horror and martial arts, like all that stuff that like Rodriguez is, likes, it's fun, man.
Yeah,
They have like Fright Night and like the original. Like they have the original stuff, like Fright Night, The Fog, like all that stuff. Like it's only problem it's not in HD.
Oh, that's brutal.
yeah. That kind of reminds me of like Spike TV and shit.
Yeah.
Spike is like
Chiller's the worst for that shit. I quit watching
yeah.
Chiller years ago because
Man, I
they
haven't
never
watched Spike
upgraded.
TV since freaking
Bellator's on Spike. What are you doing, son?
since that freaking Japanese dubbed game show used to be on there. It's fucking hilarious.
An
Oh, yeah.
MXC.
MXC, like fucking
Yeah.
Moods. We gotta watch some of those episodes.
that show is so funny, man. So
Gotta watch
funny.
some of that. I wonder if those. I know those are on DVDs. I have to get those.
Yeah.
So that's it for my
All right.
review of From Dusk Till Dawn, the series.
Okay, sounds good. So are we going to get into the question of the week here?
Yes, question of the week.
So this is Mood Swings, correct?
Yeah, mood swings. I don't really have anything lined up, but we're going to be talking about and reading out the list of last week's question, which was your top 5 Scream Factory releases. I said either way you could answer this however you wanted. It didn't really matter to me whether you want to make your top 5 in your collection or top 5 overall. It doesn't matter. Top 5 in general. You guys want to start?
Oh, okay.
Are we reading theirs first?
Sure. Yeah, let's read off theirs first, and then we'll go into ours. You got those?
Yeah, I got them. W
Doubles.
Doubles. His top. He did 2. He did his top 5 that he owns, and top 5 that I guess he doesn't own. So his top 5 that he owns, he got number 5 is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Number 4 is the All Night Horror Marathon Volume 1. Number 3 is From Beyond. Number 2 is The Burning. And number 1 is TerrorVision Video Dead. And I guess these ones would be, the second top 5 would be in general, including the ones he owns and doesn't own. Number 5 is TerrorVision, The Video Dead. Number 4 is The Fog. Number 3 is the Vincent Price set. Number 2 is Day of the Dead. And number 1 is Night of Demons. Solid
Sweet.
ones there.
Yeah.
I like the inclusion of the All Night Marathon. I think a lot of people like those, man. I'm excited for them to do more of them.
Yeah, I really hope that they release a Volume 3 soon.
Yeah, same. I even bought those.
Yeah.
Lost Witch, the top 5 Scream Factory releases that he owns in his collection. Number 5 is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Number 4 is Day of the Dead. Number 3, Halloween 2. Number 2, The Burning. And number 1, TerrorVision Video Dead. That TerrorVision Video Dead one gets a lot of love.
Moods loves it, man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I'm surprised to see that on so many number 1s.
Yeah, yeah. And then Andrew Cripps, his is The Funhouse at number 5. 4, The Fog. Number 3 is Halloween 2. Number 2 is The Burning. And number 1 is Day of the Dead.
Yeah, The Burning and Day of the Dead seem to be
Yeah, those seem
everyone's
to
list.
be big ones. I was actually surprised. I guess I'll talk about this more when I get into my list, but I haven't really watched and been able to kind of, figure out which ones I like because I haven't checked out everyone. I haven't looked at the special features and stuff. I've only done that with a handful of releases. And Day of the Dead, I'm kind of surprised gets so much love considering it's not a film that has, not had releases in the past. You know what I mean? It's had releases in the past, so it's kind of surprising me that it's so high on everybody's list.
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the new documentary that's on it too, I guess. I mean, that kind of sells it for me, man. It's like a full-length documentary that's really interesting. So,
Mr. Snickers, his top 5 is Night of the Demons at number 5, number 4, The Fog, number 3, They Live, number 2, Day of the Dead, and number 1, The Burning. I was surprised to not see Zach with his top 6 list.
Yeah, what
You
the
know what?
fuck, Zach?
you know what? I actually thought of that today when I was going through the list, and I was like, "Oh,
You know
Zach
what?
didn't comment on this."
Did anybody put
I
their
think-
list in the YouTube or the Facebook comments because I didn't check there.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, maybe Zach was a little butthurt because I know he's a big fan of the woman, and I, maybe just didn't want to. Felt like he's like, kind of maybe I offended him a little bit by talking a lot of shit about. I didn't really
see what you did, you dick.
No. I think he commented on either in the Facebook or did he comment on the video? I can't remember. But I don't know. Maybe just to make a list.
We got a lot of comments on the actual post in the group page instead of the video this time. I've noticed.
Yeah, it's the thing I can't remember, which is where. So
now I want to watch MXC. Damn it!
Fuck, it show's ridiculous.
That show to me, I can only watch in small doses.
The top 10 eliminations, the painful eliminations of the day is fucking so funny.
So I think that's it. Do you guys want to go into your top 5?
Sure.
Yeah.
I could do mine first if you guys want, since mine's kind of.
Now, these films that we own, it has to be films that we owned.
No, it could be any.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. All right.
Like I said,
but
you can answer either way.
I decided to go with ones that I've experienced, ones that I've checked out and know what they are. So it was kind of almost exclusive to these 5, considering I haven't really got into too many other ones. Number 5 is TerrorVision Video Dead. I really liked that one. That one was just a fun double feature. Number 4 is They Live. I really like the commentary on They Live, Roddy Piper, John Carpenter. A lot of cool special features on that one.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Phantasm 2. I just love that release. I don't know why. It was the one that when it was first announced, when Scream Factory in general was first announced, that was one of the titles they announced in the first couple, and that one I was really excited for. Number 2 is Halloween 2. Which I do have a video coming out probably Tuesday on a in-depth look at Halloween 2 on the Scream Factory release. And then number 1 is Halloween 3. I just love that release. It was the first one I bought.
Same here.
Nice.
All right, my next?
Yep.
All right, number 5, I have Town of Dreaded Sundown. Because, gotta love Scream Factory for releasing stuff that didn't have a release on DVD before then. So major kudos to Scream Factory, like we were talking about last week. Number 4, Video Dead and TerrorVision. Number 3, The Burning. Number 2, Crawl Space, which I fucking love Crawl Space. Thank you, Scream Factory, for releasing that film. I actually saw that a little while, like back in October, and before Scream Factory released it. I fucking love that movie. And number 1, of course, Halloween 3 as well. Makes the top of my list.
All right, yeah.
That's awesome to see Halloween 3 on there, too.
Yeah. Like I said at the top of this Mood Swings, I kind of cheated here in my top 5, but fuck it, whatever. It's my question, right? So in at number 5, I put the All Night Marathon Volume 1 and 2. I lumped them together as one. That's where I was cheating because I fucking love those releases, man. They're fantastic.
Moodz, get the fuck out of here. You're out of the podcast.
Yeah, that's fucking
you're gone.
Bullshit, dude.
You're gone.
Breaking rules and shit. I believe this is the second time you've done this.
This is now called the 22 Shots of JP and Jeremy podcast. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, so
fudge you, fudge them. Get the fudge out.
He's giving props to whoever put the All Night Marathon in their top 5 list. I put both in there as one, and I get fucking shunned. Jesus. All right. Anyways, yeah. So the All Night Marathon Volume 1 and 2, number 5. Number 4 is Night of the Demons, and Night of the Demons, the artwork, I think it's fantastic too.
I can't wait to get that release. It's $27 on Blu-ray right now, new from Amazon. I gotta wait. I just got to.
That's out of control, man. That's so out of control.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, overall, really, really awesome release. Cool features, transfers amazing. Fuck.
I know
I loved it. It's great release.
Visiting Hours and Bad Dreams set is $11.99 right now on Amazon.
Holy shit!
If anyone wants to grab it.
All right, so number 3 is ironically Halloween 3. Yeah, I mean I've stated my opinions on that one lots of times. It's a great release. Number 2 is Day of the Dead. Like I said before,
can I try and guess your number 1?
yeah. Like I said before with Day of the Dead, it's like the documentary, the artwork, everything. I mean, you brought the fact that Day of the Dead has had other Blu-ray releases too, but This one I really enjoy. I think it's
And it's the
fantastic.
second best zombie film of all time.
And number
My
one goes
opinion.
to TerrorVision and Video Dead.
Yes, shit,
Yeah,
man.
I knew that
I
too.
mean, and I made this list. I made this list based on. I kind of took everything and put it into a bowl, man. Like, it was based on artwork, features, and rewatchability. I've watched TerrorVision and the Video Dead like 50
Yeah,
fucking
you
times. I
just
swear.
watched that when we were talking one night.
Yeah, like I watch it all the time. Like I love those two movies. It's such an awesome double feature, man. And
Get a drink. Listen.
I don't know. It's just so perfect, man. I think it's. I mean, it's just my. I'm not going to say it's the best Scream Factory release because that's bullshit, but it's just my personal favorite. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that release gets a lot of love. I know that me personally, when I first watched it, I thought it was it's a great idea for a double feature. Terror Vision, Video Dead, it just fits.
Yeah.
I wish they would kind of do more stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping that Scream Factory. Well, it's not even Scream Factory. It's more based on the fans and what if it sells and stuff. But the TV tears that they started, like
Yeah.
because I have a sneaky suspicion that the TV tears. Well, it doesn't even say Volume 1 on it because they opted to not put the Volume 1 just in case it didn't sell, right?
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it didn't sell very well because I watch a lot of people's updates and watch and read things and stuff, and it never gets mentioned. Like nobody seems to be, picking that one up. So that's kind of saddening. That makes me sad a little bit because I really enjoyed the double feature. To be honest, I watched both the TV films. They're both from 1978, and they were both fun. Like that's when TV films, in my opinion, were really good quality films. They're obviously not, they're not going to be anything crazy, but they're fucking worth having and putting out, though.
And Slumber Party Massacre gets released tomorrow, Tuesday, right? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, is that it for this week?
No.
What else gets released this week besides?
On Tuesday, Slumber Party Massacre from, obviously, fucking...
82.
From Scream Factory, Contracted.
And then Beneath comes out the week after.
I think, Jeremy, you're talking about Scream Factory releases, and Moodz, you're talking about DVDs in general.
Yeah, I'm just talking about in general stuff.
Oh, I heard you talking about the Scream Factory double feature set. That's why I was...
Yeah. But, yeah, anyways, just a couple releases that are coming out from Tuesday here. Contracted, which... released by IFC. I really want to check that film out.
It's gross. It'll never make you want to have unprotected sex again. Enough said.
Wait, what?
If you don't like STDs and
Moodz, this is gonna make you never want to have unprotected sex again.
Mm-hmm. If you don't like getting STDs and having, it's like bad biology, but with STDs.
Ugh, nasty. I know a lot of. I think the consensus on Outpost 3 isn't that great right now, but I'm curious to watch it because I love the first one. The second one was not that great, but it was still entertaining. But I'm curious to check out the third one. I love my Nazi zombie films.
There was a sequel to Outpost.
Yeah. There's a third sequel to second sequel to Outpost.
Really, JP? Thanks for fucking telling me. I just figured that out right now.
So that's coming out on Tuesday. I believe also Return of Nukem High Volume 1 is out on Tuesday also. I think the official release date is on Tuesday. But JP, you mentioned last week about Tom Holland's Twisted Tales, didn't you? Didn't you bring that up in the news?
I don't think so. Maybe.
No. Okay, I thought that was you that brought that up. But anyways, this looks pretty cool. Tom Holland's Twisted Tales. It's obviously like an anthology type deal that's getting released on Tuesday. If anybody out there wants to check out Here Comes the Devil, who's being released on Tuesday, I've heard pretty much nothing but bad things about the film. It doesn't really interest me personally. I'm not a big fan of these type of films. I think they're a little oversaturated and kind of just not my thing, really. But
everybody on May 6th, pick up Revenge of the Nerds on Blu-ray because it's getting a release. Yes!
Also, we have a couple new Redemption releases that are coming out too. A couple Pete Walker films that are finally making their way to Blu-ray, which is Frightmare, and the Flesh and Blood Show, which is coming out. So those are numbers like 38 and 39 in the catalog if you're keeping track. So that's pretty much all that's coming out. There's a film, I don't know if you guys know anything about this one called Buckwild. You guys know anything about this one?
I heard it. Yeah, I think I might have seen a trailer for that a little while ago.
I don't know, it kind of looks interesting, but that's coming out on Tuesday also, And yeah, so that's pretty much everything on here that interests me for Tuesday. But there's some pretty good releases coming out on Tuesday. I'm so excited to get my Return to Nukem High Blu-ray because it already shipped, and I might even get it before the date. I might even get it tomorrow in the mail, which is so exciting because I'll be watching that again. I loved it.
Did you get Her Name Was Torment yet, Moodz? Did you pre-order it?
No.
Are you going to?
I'm not sure. I just kind of need to watch what I'm buying right at the present moment, just because.
But it's a Dustin Mills film. You buy all his movies.
Oh, I know, but I mean, I don't think there actually is a release date, though, is there?
April 29th.
I've seen a positive review.
Is that what it's saying?
Yeah.
April 29th? Holy shit. Okay. I think when I first went there, I wasn't... I don't know if there was a date on it, but
there's a limited to 30 release.
Crazy. Okay.
Of some titty action on the front cover there, so...
Although, speaking of Dustin Mills, I did receive... I don't know if you guys obviously saw the picture on the Facebook page of Kill That Bitch. Kill the Bitch, I should say. Yeah, I was really, really fucking blown away by it. It was a really good film. Highly recommend it. And I also did pre-order the Blu-ray for Easter Casket also, and that is again limited. So if you guys want to jump
it's already
on
gone.
that, is it already sold out?
The Blu-ray?
Yeah.
Not yet.
I think there's like 50 or whatever because
yes.
these are like independently done and stuff. So you can go support Justin. He seems to be doing really well. Everything's selling out. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the new cover art. It's great. The white cover with the bunny on it. Fucking
Yeah.
looks awesome, man. Looks super cool. So, but yeah, I think that's gonna do it for
lots of releases.
That was the weird, like, this is gonna fucking show notes suck when we we have a sporadic DVD release dates in the middle of our Scream Factory talk. That was odd.
There's so many fucking non-horror classics coming out on fucking Blu-ray that got announced. It's like,
well, GP, you know, you could just lump this all into Mood Swings.
Yeah,
I probably
like Revenge of the Nerds got announced. Fucking Bachelor Party got announced, and
I think that was actually really weird because we were literally talking about this last week about how we were so surprised that Revenge of the Nerds didn't have a Blu-ray release, and then the next fucking day it gets announced.
Weekend at Bernie's is getting a U.S. Blu-ray release, and Used Cars is getting a Blu-ray release from Twilight Times.
I don't even want to fucking talk about that.
On Wednesday, which everyone knows, Used Cars is my favorite comedy film ever, so it's like I almost jizzed my pants when I saw that it was getting a Blu-ray release, but unfortunately it was getting released by Twilight Times. But they're having a sale that everything on their site's $10 off, so it will only be $20 instead of a $30 purchase.
Not a bad deal, I guess. So.
Well, I know JP hates them, but
so anyways, the question of the week. Yeah. So for question of the week this week, I was having a conversation with my buddy, and we were talking about, just horror films and endings and stuff, and I was like, bam, there it is right there. So your guys' top 5 endings to a horror film.
Ooh.
The fuck, dude? That's going to be so hard for me to narrow down.
Dude, I instantly had like 3 or 4 off the top of my head. I was like, this is fucking awesome, because I think everybody already knows what my favorite ending of all time is, but I was like, this is actually quite interesting, because I was really thinking about this all week, and there's a ton of films with really gnarly endings.
I like the Saw ending.
I think if we're going to do this, I don't think we should go into why it's our endings, because I guaranteed that there's films on there that people haven't seen.
No. I'm not going to say.
Yeah, I mean just when we start discussing it next week.
But to be quite honest, though, I think most of the films that make our list, I think most people have seen. I mean, for the most part, but still, we will refrain from, spoiling the actual, the film. We'll just list off the films.
I'm really like very serious about spoilers. I fucking hate them, dude. I probably get a little annoying sometimes with it, but I actually can't stand spoilers.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So your top 5 endings to a horror film. I think this could be an interesting one. The more I think about it, the more I find films. I keep thinking. Just like
as soon as you said it, like 4 or 5 endings just rolled through my head like a little Rolodex.
I instantly knew what my top 2 were right away, and then like I said, I was literally making a list, going, fuck, man, this is actually kind of hard. So,
I have to think about that one.
yeah, I think it's a
I'll
little
definitely
bit of a
be doing
thinker.
some thinking during work week.
So, I thought it was a pretty cool question.
Yeah, there is a good one. It's a good one.
A thinker. So, but yeah. So top 5 horror film endings next week. People answer them, and yeah,
Is that it for Mood Swings?
that's gonna do it.
Ding, 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 and now we come to the main event. The
No,
main
we don't.
event. What?
We got
Fine.
questions.
Oh, fuck. Okay, questions. Then
You
the
pulled
main
at me. I did that recently.
Fucking hell. Oh, man, I got excited. I thought we were going to talk about Leprechaun in space.
Um, so yeah, the only 2 this week. We got Martin VP. He asked, "Do you visit film festivals? Which ones annually?" Yeah, those are his questions. Sorry for his bad English. He said, "No problem, dude." It's fine.
Well, we could talk
This
about
is-
me for a long, long, long
Yeah,
time.
this is something that Jeremy can probably
Yeah.
talk about. I have never been to any kind of film festival. That shit doesn't even exist around me.
Yeah.
So my answer is no and no.
I mean, I guess I could. Yeah, I mean, I go to every time there's a film festival around here. I do attend. It's nothing too crazy. It's never specific. It's kind of the films are all over the place. It could be anything from documentaries to dramas to. I think there's pretty much every type of film shown there except for horror films, which it really fucking annoys me that they never show horror films at these film festivals. But they're honestly, like I will admit that some of the films are pretty damn cool. But yeah, like film festivals around here, I try to go every year. There's one in town in the city I live in every February, and it's like a 2-day thing, and I try to check out. I think it's around no, it's actually 3 days. I'm lying. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, around 10 to 12 films, and I try to get them all down. So, but
Cool. Yeah. Well, me living in the wonderful city of Chicago, we have shit going on here all the time. Besides New York and LA, Chicago's a pretty big hub for film. So we always have shit going on here, especially in the month of October. The month of October, we have the Chicago International Film Festival, and that's one of the biggest festivals in the country. I know IFC brings a whole lot, and Argento's Dracula, unfortunately, was shown last year, and Argento actually was there. And
Well, that had to be awkward, huh?
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I didn't go because I was at another film festival. I was at my annual 24-hour horror marathon festival that I go to every October. The awesome Music Box Theater in the city of Chicago, which is one of the last few classic music film houses left in the city. So every October, always go 24 hours of films from noon on Saturday to noon on Sunday. So that usually is in the month of October as well. Usually the same time as the Chicago International Film Festival. And besides that, the Music Box always has fucking shit going on all the time. Let's see, who have I met there? I've met William Lustig twice there. I've met Alex Winter from Bill and Ted and Freaked there. I've met Herschel Gordon Lewis there. I've met who else? I could have met Wes Anderson there. He was there 2 Saturdays ago, but it sold out in literally 2 seconds flat. So it's like 7,500 people are trying to get in. So and besides that, every August we have Flashback Weekend, which is of course the horror convention that is here every August, and it's always
Okay, now you're just bragging, dude.
I'm not bragging. We're talking about conventions, and I'm telling you about all the wonderful things that are in the city of Chicago. And this year is going to be fucking awesome because there's going to be a Phantasm reunion, and Robert Englund's going to be there, and Lance Henderson's going to be there. It's going to be fucking gnarly.
Lance Henderson? Who's that?
Fucking the guy from Pumpkinhead. You know who the fuck I'm talking about.
Lance Henriksen?
Hendrickson, you know what I fucking meant. Dick.
Oh, shit.
But besides that, I could talk about this for hours. We have so much shit going on here.
Yeah, definitely jealous on that one. Dude, it's fucking snowing outside. What the hell's going on?
Yeah. I don't think it's that cold right now, actually. I think it's 30 degrees or something. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's 21. Fuck, it's cold.
I think that answers
Yep.
that question. Right?
Yep. JP lives in middle bumblefuck, so he gets nothing.
Well, I
Moodz.
mean, there's probably some shit going on out, near Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
but I'm just not into that right now.
Yeah. Totally. It's too expensive. Like I fucking went to Flashback in 2012. I think I spent like $350 on autographs, and it's like I don't like to do that every often because. But that Phantasm reunion is very, very tempting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be tempted on that too.
So there is something a little going on near me where there's a drive-in and they're showing some shit, which I'll probably do in April. So the only other question is Andrew Cripps. He asks, if you could be a victim in any slasher, which film would you pick and how would you like to be killed? So I guess I'll answer this one first. My immediate and go-to response is just it has to be Jason. If I can be like in a realistic answer, I just couldn't not pick being killed by Jason. That would be if I got killed by Jason in a horror movie, I would just like to be in a Friday 13th, obviously, but I would just like to be in that film. I don't even have to be killed. I'd rather not be killed.
Does it have to be by somebody, or does it have to be from a movie, or could it just be how you want to die if you were in a horror film?
In a slasher film. So I figured, slasher.
It has to be a slasher.
Yeah, I definitely would say Jason because he's just my all-time favorite character, and it would just be cool to be in a Friday the 13th film. But then I started thinking it would be really, really cool to be killed in a Nightmare on Elm Street film because there's so many different things you can do in the dream world. So I might have to go with Elm Street.
I have the answer. I would want to be killed by fucking having my head put in the fucking bowling ball wax machine from Gutter Balls, like it happens in Gutter Balls. I think that's like the coolest kill ever.
So you just want to remake something? How original! No, I'm kidding.
I think that would be the fucking coolest way to get your head stuck in a bowling ball waxing machine.
Well, since JP kind of ganked my fucking answer, my first thing I thought of was getting killed by Freddy too in a Nightmare on Elm Street film. That was the very first thing that came to mind.
Robert Englund Freddy, dude? That would just be like.
Well, I mean, like I kind of, I worked it out. So, Nightmare on Elm Street, my favorite franchise. So why not get killed off by fucking Freddy?
That's why I picked Jason.
So
it would be a highlight of my life. It really would be if I was in a Friday the 13th movie.
I'm not exactly sure how. Because you really have. There's just that's one cool thing about that series that there's a lot of creative deaths.
I'm thinking you're sitting there chilling in your music room with your thousands of CDs, bumping some rap, and then you just start falling asleep. I see it going down like that, like almost like Spencer in 6, but way less cheesy.
Yeah, man. He jumps out of my iMac and fucking, I don't know.
I always wanted to get killed by like a fucking big rig, like he does in Bride of Chucky when he like steps out of the car and gets fucking annihilated. That's like the only cool scene in Bride of Chucky when that guy just gets owned by the giant semi fucking piling down the road.
No, I like the scene in Bride of Chucky when
John Ritter dies.
Gets the nails in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the best
Which is totally a homage to, I swear it's a homage to fucking Pinhead, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He even says, where have I seen this before?
Oh, okay. I haven't seen Bride of Chucky in a long time. But
I think my favorite scene in Bride of Chucky is when Chucky gets pissed off and he's in the bottom of the grave and he just starts flipping shit and he's like, motherfucker, let me out of here. Those are my favorite parts in the Child's Play films, when Chucky gets all mad. It just sounds so crazy.
Gnarly. Is that it for the questions, though?
Yeah, that is it.
Now is the time for the main event, JP.
Yep.
Can we finally talk about Leprechaun in space?
No.
I know,
because we got to talk about the 3 before that first.
I know, but we're gonna get to Leprechaun in space. All right,
That's
JP. All right, I think for every film, we should have a part where we talk about what our favorite kill in the film is. Since there's 6 films, 6 favorite kills.
Sure, why not? Leprechaun original came out in 1993, the year Jeremy was born, I believe.
Yeah, and Austin.
Stars Jennifer Aniston.
Yep.
So
Jennifer
basically,
Aniston.
there's a farmhouse. Jennifer Aniston and her father are. I don't know. Are they moving in there permanently, or are they just like fixing it up over the weekend or something?
I don't think they're moving in permanently. I think they're just her father just bought that place to fix up. It's kind of
Yeah,
like a getaway place. Yeah.
yeah. You could tell she's like kind of high maintenance.
Yeah.
So they arrive there. She hates the house, but she meets the Kevin Bacon lookalike. And
I thought every time I watch this movie, I think the same fucking thing.
yeah,
Dude,
dude,
oh, that's so funny.
that guy
Guy
is
is
definitely
such
the
a
poor
Kevin
man's
Bacon.
Bacon.
He's such a Kevin Bacon ripoff, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's perfect. A Kevin Bacon ripoff. That's exactly what it is.
That's so fucking awesome you brought that up.
So
Good.
he kind of, she kind of, out of spite, she kind of wants to stay there to prove that she's not as girly and high maintenance as she comes off. There, well, I guess actually before that, we're introduced to the Leprechaun, right? I mean, he's Dan O'Grady, who owned the house,
Yeah.
years before, 10 years, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Comes back from Ireland where his mother's had died, and he has gold, and he's like, it's gold, I got gold. And the Leprechaun followed him, kills his wife, and Dan O'Grady manages to trap him in a crate in the basement with a four-leaf clover, because the four-leaf clover harms leprechauns and controls them.
They lose their powers.
Yeah, they lose their powers, but Dan O'Grady doesn't make it out because the leprechaun puts a little curse on him. He has a heart attack or a stroke, and Leprechauns stuck in that crate. 10 years later, they Jennifer Aniston and her father are there. Essentially, what happens is they end up letting the Leprechaun loose. Then the other characters, Ozzy and Alex, correct?
The little kid's name? Yeah.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. Yeah.
They find the Leprechaun's pot of gold where Dan O'Grady hid it, and the Leprechaun's pissed off, wants his gold back, and that's the story. I went into it a little bit more than necessary. Thoughts on Leprechaun?
The first Leprechaun film, I always find, in my opinion, that it doesn't exactly know if it wants to be more on the serious level or on the comedic level, because there is scenes in the film
that are absolutely great viewpoint, because that's exactly how I always felt.
Yeah, because I always found with this film that there's legitimately, there's certain shots in the film that are meant to be very horrifying, right?
Yeah.
But then you have the scenes where, what the fuck? I always forget the name of the director, Mark Jones, where he fast forwards some of the scenes, like with the fucking Warwick Davis on the skateboard and on the roller skates, and then when he's driving his little car and stuff, and those scenes are just so fucking goofy and retarded, but there is scenes like, in the woods, or I guess kind of in the forest or in the trees or whatever and stuff like that are genuinely meant to be, kind of scary and stuff, which this film, it has those moments that are up and down throughout the whole film, in my opinion.
I think of the opening where he kills the wife, and then he's just sitting in the chair in the room, and O'Grady doesn't know that the Leprechaun's there and stuff, and he's just mocking. So my history with the Leprechaun original film is, when I was a kid, I rented a lot of VHSs, and before I ever seen Leprechaun, it seemed like every VHS I rented had, you'd have to wait through 5-10 minutes, or not 5-10 minutes, but 3 or 4 previews of other movies, and Leprechaun always seemed to be on there if it was like a film from the 90s. So I was like, I need to fucking see this, and I finally eventually saw it, and it scared the shit out of me. Leprechaun scared me like one of the worst ever out of all the films I've ever seen. And looking back on it now, I'm like, what? How did that ever happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because for a kid, I think that you don't notice you don't get the context of the rollerblades and the cartooniness of everything. You just see the creepy leprechaun being all creepy, and the people are genuinely scared of him. So they're not breaking the comedy barrier. They're not noticing the comedic things that are happening. So as a kid, I don't think you really recognize that.
Yeah. But yeah, um, I don't know. Like I said though, it's the one thing that always kind of, it doesn't really bug me about the movie, but I just kind of wish that, you can have like a serious horror film. I mean, obviously, it's kind of hard to take this type
I
of
think it would have
storyline
worked
serious,
better
anyways.
serious though.
But yeah, maybe just a little more serious. But I think a couple of those scenes probably could have been either just taken out or just kind of done differently. Like the whole fast forward thing is just so goofy, man.
Yeah.
It's basically just cartoony, right? I mean, it's bad enough that he's on roller skates or whizzing by on a skateboard and stuff, but it doesn't have to
I
be
think
sped up.
one of the
And another thing that's actually really funny is the sound effects in some of those scenes. They're very cartoony-ish. Like
yeah.
they're straight from like a cartoon library. And I was like, wow. And then it goes, and then all of a sudden you're having this scene where, he's like in the bush and it's like all kind of scary and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the first Leprechaun
And
film,
then-
they didn't write him in rhymes. Like he doesn't talk in rhymes, right? So he's just kind of
he
like
does
this,
a little bit.
a little bit. It's very, very minor. It's not like the second one where almost every fucking line and that he says is basically rhymed. But this one is kind of like the way he talks and he's kind of darker and stuff. But I don't know. It's got a weird feel to the film.
I think one of the reasons why they did the speed up thing is because in certain scenes, like he can't move. Like I don't think Warwick Davis can move fast, and they wanted a Leprechaun to move fast, so they had to,
Speed
it up.
Yeah.
But another thing I was going to say along the lines of the comedy is, it's not done as like a black comedy that's not in your face. It's very in your face. It's very like. It's not like a Texas Chainsaw 2 or something. And I think if it was more like that, if it was dark and just had comedic moments, but they weren't in your face, I think it would have been a much stronger and less confusing effort.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, the sped up scenes and stuff they're goofy and stuff, but there's even the scene where he's on the roller skates and he goes through the fence and it has that stupid old comedic thing where he's left a print of him in the fence and stuff. I'm just like, really? It's just so goofy, man. It makes me laugh, but I'm like, I just at times I wish those things weren't there and it was a little more serious. But
yeah,
I don't know,
because
man.
there's scenes where where he just jumps on Ozzy and just starts cutting the shit out of him. Like that's some fucked up dark stuff right there, man.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, there's the fucking.
It's so conflicting.
The one scene that actually kind of. Well, I mean, it's a little goofy in the scene. I think it's at the pawn shop with the pawn shop owner or whatever.
Stick.
Oh, come on. Now you ruined my favorite fucking kill of the film. Come on, man.
But that's a good example of like.
Well, how many other kills did you have to choose from?
It's kind of.
I guess so.
These movies are really low body counts. Like honestly, there's maybe a handful in every film. It's pretty minor. But yeah, that's it's a scene that's kind of horrifying but kind of funny at the same time because a leprechaun on a pogo stick. I mean, how can you take that even remotely serious? It's ridiculous, but I think it's pretty funny.
Well, it's even more ridiculous that he's killing a guy by hopping on him with a pogo stick.
Oh, I know.
Because that doesn't even make sense.
It's outrageous, yeah.
But you know what, though? Going back to the start of the film, when Dan O'Grady starts talking about how he caught the leprechaun in Ireland and made him give him his gold and stuff, I always thought that would have been interesting to see. Like, how did he catch him? Like, I think a prequel could have been made there. Dan O'Grady in Ireland catching a leprechaun.
Yeah, I actually wondered the exact same thing, how he got him in there, because, I mean, basically, if you show the four-leaf clover to Warwick Davis, he's supposedly, by the mythology, he loses all his powers and stuff, right? So maybe he just literally put the shit in front of his face and then just picked the little guy up and threw him.
Well, I was gonna say that, but this is my thing right here. If you pay attention, and you probably only notice this if you watch it a bunch of times, the leprechaun, when O'Grady pulls out the four-leaf clover, he reacts like, "Where did you get that? A four-leaf clover?" So I don't think he caught him with the four-leaf clover. He had to catch him in another way.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's open for interpretation, really.
I mean,
but
obviously they didn't think about this. I'm just, getting way too into it.
There's one thing I did notice, throughout the whole franchise, rewatching and stuff and really kind of paying attention to, the mythology and,
it's
behind
so off. I was going to mention that was one of my favorite one of my main
Well,
points. I wanted to talk about continuity and the mythology.
Well, the continuity, there's absolutely none in the franchise. Like, all of a sudden, the next movie starts and he's just in a different location, and all of a sudden he's in space, and then he's in the hood. But like from the end of a film to the start of the film, yeah, there's no continuity at all. But yeah, the mythology just does change a little bit. But I think in certain aspects that I think it's kind of good though. Like if it was just about a 4-leaf clover where he loses his powers, you can kill him with the 4-leaf clover.
Well,
I do like in the second film. I do like the fact in the second film where they, the leprechaun can't touch iron bars.
I agree, but it
right? So
bugs the shit out of me.
Totally.
In the third and fourth and fifth film, they forget about that rule.
But we're not in Leprechaun 2 yet. Are we still talking about Leprechaun 1?
No, totally,
yeah,
totally. But I'm just trying to make my point here. It's just that they just kind of up the mythology a little bit. Okay, you still know in the back of your mind that the 4-leaf clovers are going to do damage to him, but now you got these iron bars. But I totally know where you're coming from with totally forgetting about this iron. You can't touch iron bars and shit in the later films. It's ridiculous. But honestly, the continuity does kind of gets to me how you can have 6 films in a franchise and nothing is related, man.
There is like these common like themes that happen. Like, all right, he was in the safe in the first film, in the pawn shop. He pops out of the safe. In the second film, they captured him in the safe. And then in the hood, they capture him in the safe. He gets his eye poked out a couple times, like, and puts it back in a couple times. Like, there's all these like common things that happen, like, but they're like completely unrelated.
I think actually in every single film he gets his eye poked out. I think in all 6 films there's a scene.
One day you had a Red Ryder BB gun.
Yeah, but it's just so funny. He's always getting stabbed in his eyes.
See, that would be such an awesome homage if he somehow he got his eye shot out with a BB gun. It'd just be funny.
I just like the fact, the leprechaun's so tiny. I mean, theoretically, you could probably kick him like a football. But
he's magical, dude.
But he's totally. I mean, you can still physically, harm him.
Man,
obviously, if you can stab him in the eye. But it just seems like that's the one thing that happens to him throughout all the films, that he gets stabbed in the eye. It's like, what? He's like 2 feet tall, man.
I think the first film really goes for like the classic leprechaun lore, like the rainbow. We don't see the rainbow again until the 6th film. The 100, what?
Is there no rainbow in the second one?
No, there's no rainbow.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, you're probably right.
So there's the 100 pieces of gold and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It seems very like just sit in the 4-leaf clover. I like the mythology in the first film. It's simple, but it works. I think the 4-leaf clover is a good mechanism for what can harm him and stuff. I really like the characters in the first film. I think the characters are probably the strongest in the series.
Well, the man-child Ozzy, he makes me laugh.
Man-child.
Yeah. And did you notice that they almost did something weird where Ozzy was, more of the child and Alex was more mature, even though their bodies were different and their ages were different. I like that angle because Alex was kind of the more mature one, telling Ozzy what to do. And nobody really told Alex what to do very much except for Ozzy, because Ozzy kind of wanted to feel like more important, feel like more of an adult, so he would try to tell Alex what to do.
Yeah, I don't know if it ever says in the film if Ozzy and Alex are actually brothers, but
I don't think they are. I
don't think it says anything to do with like the 3 men that paint, or the 3 guys that paint. That's the name of the company. But I just the way I always watch that film, I always see them as being related. The Ozzy and Alex being related. That's just the way I always take it.
Really?
I think it's weird. I don't know why I just kind of assume that.
I always see Kevin Bacon and the Kevin Bacon ripoff and Alex being brothers, and then Ozzy just being like the hired help around the town, like that Charlie guy in Critters, like him.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense.
It's interesting though, just how like we can see it differently though, because there's no right answer because they never explain it.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I also wanted to say, like, this film always is funny to me when I was a kid, because, like, they send Alex out to the distributor. He's like, oh, it must be the distributor cap. And he gets in the hood and just like shakes some shit. And I don't know shit about cars, but I always thought it was funny that he just like gets in the hood and just like shakes like something, and then the car's fixed. But they send him out. Like they send the littlest kid out to like fix it. Like when there's an evil like leprechaun trying to kill them.
Yeah. You know, the one thing about the Leprechaun, the very first Leprechaun film, I mean, obviously this was a standalone film at one time. So when you watch the film, like, what exactly is the mythology? I mean, I understand that the Leprechaun has magical powers and stuff, but what's with the whole mimicking of voices? You know, it's just part of his magic. Like, he can just do things like that, but like...
I mean...
But why can he do that and not certain like other things? Like, I mean, it's obviously not explained. Like how much magical powers and what can he possibly do?
Well, I don't think they're really limited at all. I think I've never seen is there a limit? Can he just do anything he wants as long as he has his gold? I think he can pretty much do whatever he wants.
I guess. Know where the gold is.
You know, it's not really explained. Like, I don't know if he does have a limit. Like, the things he can do. Like, I mean, can he like? I mean, he can obviously disappear and kind of shift himself around, but can. But like he doesn't shapeshift and stuff. He doesn't like turn into like other things and.
Well, I always thought that there was a really strong idea for a film under all the Leprechaun films. I think that you make it more of a character thing where this evil creature is addicted and so greedy that he needs this gold to get more powerful. Because the more gold he gets, the more power he gets, and just a truly like straight up evil, just tear your face off character. I think there's so much there that it unfortunately we'll probably never see anything like that. But who knows? Leprechaun Origins is coming out.
And apparently it's supposed to be dark, isn't it? And serious.
Yeah, because I really like when the Leprechaun is like serious and like just is like all about his gold. Like when there's moments that you see Warwick Davis is like fantastic. It like when he sees like he's so like just a con artist, like sleazy, like fucking do anything for the gold type thing, and like there's nothing will stop him. I always like when he gets in those moments where he's just a slimy little scumbag character where he's like like you get the sense that he'll like trade his own mother for like a gold shilling or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, your thoughts, Jeremy? Do you got anything to add to the?
Like I said last week, this is the JP and Moodz segment, and I just chime in every once in a while what I think. It's a typical early 90s cheese fest that they turned into something oversaturated that we'll talk about as we continue with the series. But who would have thought that Mark Jones would have been able to create a new franchise, and it happened. And as the angry video game nerd says, what was Jennifer Aniston thinking when she fucking took this role? But I guess someone has to start somewhere, and Leprechaun seemed like a great idea to her, and look where she is today. So
it's just so funny though, man. If I was an up and coming actress or an actor, whatever, and I the script landed on my desk, I would take it in a second, man. It's a fucking Leprechaun.
So would I. I would too, man.
I mean, maybe she was thinking the same thing. She's like, oh man, this could actually be something, Like I highly doubt it.
Yeah, but then she never beats in any of the other ones because she saw how big of an asshole it was that when it fucking came out.
Well, I believe that this movie came out in 93, like she was on Friends the next year, so that was like her whole career, right? So
it's like Leprechaun 2. Yeah, right.
Because the sequel didn't come out until 95.
Leprechaun 2.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Leprechaun.
Yeah, because the whole budget would go to fucking her.
Because Leprechaun 2 came out actually 95, and she was already on Friends. So
94.
Is it 94? Okay, so, but yeah.
But it's kind of sad. 2 films got released in theaters, and the other 4 only got straight to DVD. So it's kind of funny.
We'll talk about that in a second. But what the fuck is up with the shoes thing? I never got it. Like, why leprechauns are shoemakers or something?
Yeah, that's actually a point that I was going to bring up too. Well, I think I don't think silly. I don't think it goes for all leprechauns. I think Warwick Davis's character, like I think he was actually a shoe shiner, right? I don't think it goes for all leprechauns. I think it's just his character.
Well, according to Leprechaun 6, there's only one leprechaun.
Yeah, well, fuck, whatever, man. But I mean, okay, so Leprechaun 1, I think it was what he was like, 2,000 years ago or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh.
I guess he was 600
He
years
must
old.
not have had gold back then.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think that's what he was. So, but yeah, the whole throwing his shoes at him and like it all kind of freaking him out. I don't know.
Well,
It-
okay,
that
yeah,
is- that is
that
kind of-
is always like fucking. That's when you're at pure comedy, like
Yeah, I just
pure,
yeah.
just silliness.
Like I said, man, from scene to scene in this film, it goes from, you know, kind of a legitimate horror film to fucking Pee-wee's Playhouse, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man, don't talk about Pee-wee's Playhouse. That's for the end of the show.
But yeah, it's just like, you know what I'm saying though? Like there is some just some really
He's
really
always
goofy moments
so-
in this. It's just weird. Like it's a weirdly directed film in my
So-
opinion.
Yeah, he's always 1 shilling short, yo. And he's like, he gets so mad. He's like, what?
I actually like
1
the scenes-
shilling short.
I always like the scenes where he's counting his gold, and he
Yeah.
like when you get to like 97 and you only have 2 more coins in your hand, you know,
Yeah, you just
right at
you
that
just
moment, that
yeah,
you're like,
it's
you
like,
only
all right,
have 99.
but he's like so like into
He's
it
like-
that he's just looking one at a time. He's just like so,
I love it too, man. He's got his hand there, and he's like,
and then it
90
takes him a
90
while. He's like he goes to feel the next one. He's like, yeah, well, where is it? Wait,
That's
wait,
exactly-
wait, a second. What?
it's like
Wait a second
90
here.
99, and then he looks at his hand and he's like, I'm missing me shilling. It's like, of course you are, man.
Yeah. And then he immediately thinks that he's been tricked. He's like, I've been tricked. Double crossed.
It's so good.
And I thought that was a cool mechanism for this one. Ozzy, ate the shilling. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Because
Yeah,
that's what a child would do, right? Eat the shilling.
I don't know how to fucking swallow that giant ass thing, but
I
Actually,
would
it
be
was-
afraid I'd get fucking tetanus. Fucking swallowing a freaking coin. It's so gross.
probably not sanitary.
and overall, man, I think the first Leprechaun film
It's
is
fun.
a great film to show a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun for sure.
Yeah, because it's gonna scare them, but then when they look back on it, I'm glad I seen it as a young kid. I probably seen it in like '95 or something. It was probably like 5.
I remember watching it when it first came out, actually, because back in those days, this is '93. I actually remember watching it on the movie channel because it's one of those films that just, like the Super Channel, the pay movie channels, whatever. It was on there like right away, and I remember checking it out. But I always really enjoyed it, though.
Yeah.
I have, it's an enjoyable film. Like I said, it definitely has its flaws in certain elements of it, but whatever.
Yeah, and I think
It's a
looking back
Leprechaun
on it with
Yeah.
repeat viewings, you start picking up this is
Yeah.
too much here. He rides a yellow car. He's on a tricycle, roller skates, a fucking pogo stick.
He's
that
going
fucking
through
weird
fences.
car that he gets out of the barn, like a little go kart. Like, where the fuck does he get that thing? That's like some Freddy Krueger like pulling shit out of dreams and stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to make sense. It's fucking Leprechaun.
Yeah.
I think it needs to make a little sense.
I guess so.
I mean, to a point, but that's something that we'll discuss later on.
Well-
fuck.
Well, actually, I think really quickly before we move off of this one, obviously they just did it. The answer is they just didn't think about this, but I like to try to explain things a bit, try to link things together. And my thing is, I think that the leprechauns are different leprechauns because in the first one he says he's 600 years old, in the second one he's 2,000 years old. And I kind of always think that Leprechaun 2 and 4, the leprechauns seem very similar, and then 1 and 3 also seem similar.
I just think you're overthinking this, JP.
Well, I'm obviously.
Well,
I stated that. At the beginning.
yeah, I've noticed that when I was watching these films again too. Like I said, he's 600 years old in this one, and then the next film he's like 2,000. I'm like, what? I noticed that right away. I'm like, that actually is like so far off.
So I kind of
that's
made all
1,400
these-
years, man.
Yeah, I've kind of made all these things where it can work as they're different leprechauns. Even if you
Mhm.
go to number 6 where they say there's only one leprechaun, then you go back to number 2 and you're like, well, he does say that he's trying to mate with that girl and to create leprechaun pups. So even though there was only one leprechaun that stayed when the king's gold and shit in part 6, he could have had more leprechauns throughout time, had all kind of leprechaun babies. So you can explain all this shit if you want. And maybe some leprechauns aren't hurt by iron. Maybe some are. You can kind of link all these together and explain it by just like doing it yourself. And I've always done that as a kid watching them because I really care about continuity, and I just tried to
I think it'd be
figure it
nice
out.
for them to explain it though, like having to figure
Oh
that out.
yeah.
And it's just all
Well,
like,
there's no answer. That's the thing. But I'm just saying, as geeky fan type stuff, you can create scenarios and storylines
yeah.
that aren't that crazy out of the reach, because that's hard to do with some series. Like, you just can't create, like, it just doesn't work. But this one, you can make shit work.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
So if you guys had to rate this film,
well, one more thing, actually, I wanted to talk about this. This film actually was kind of successful. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
I think it made like $8.5 million on a $900K budget.
Yeah, that's pretty damn successful in the 90s when horror's like dead.
but my only question is though, like, it's that successful. Now, did they get paid in gold?
Only gold shillings, dude.
Well, I hope
99.
they got paid in gold. It's probably worth a fuck ton more now than it was back then.
Oh, for sure.
I don't even want to know what the gold value was. Let me see. Gold value in 1993.
Anyway, what would you rate this one, Moodz?
So gold value in 1993 was $330, and now gold is like $1,500, I think.
What the hell are we talking about gold value for?
Moodz talked about gold if they were paid in gold, and I'm saying how much it would be per shilling if they got paid in gold back in 1993.
Well, there's historical value with the shilling, dude. I mean, you really want to start looking up
which would make it priceless.
Yeah, come on, man.
Honestly, like I said, the first Leprechaun film has its flaws, but in my opinion, it's very fun. It has a lot of rewatchability. In my opinion, I think it's just a blast.
I've watched it in the 20s at least.
Yeah, it has a charm to it.
It does have a
pun
charm.
Intended, and that pun intended. But yeah, I think I give it a solid like 7.5 out of 10.
That's cool. I gave it a 7.5 too. I'm right with you.
Yeah.
I gotta say, watching it this time, it was probably my least fun experience with it, because I started looking at all the flaws, really paying attention to them, and I was like, yeah, this has a lot of problems, but like you said, it has charm, and that's what I think counts with a film like this.
Yeah, I think a film like this and it didn't have charm would just be a total failure, because
it would be like
it's a film about a leopard
or something.
Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin. I mean, it's a film about a leprechaun, man.
I haven't watched Rumpelstiltskin yet, but JP says it's fucking horrendous, so I'll take his word.
Yeah, I rented it back in the day.
Yeah, I've never seen it, actually. But yeah,
VHS.
so we gave it 7 house. What do you give it, Jeremy?
I'll give it a 7.
All right.
All right, then.
Leprechaun 2 from the year 1994 with a $2 million budget, over double, and it only made back $2,260,000.
Yep, it made $260K.
That's a flop. That is a flop.
And this was a theatrical flop, though.
Yeah, it was the last theatrical. $2 million.
I guess if you're going to lose $1.8 million, you're probably not going to get a third installment in the theater.
That was just their budget, though. Imagine what they paid to advertise and all that stuff.
I thought that was
the filming budget. Yeah.
That was just the filming budget. Imagine what they had to pay for like advertising and shit like that.
I mean, I'm sure they did good on video, though. They probably, broke even or maybe even made a little money, but it's not a success.
I gotta say though, I'm really actually kind of surprised that, with the first film being probably more successful than they ever thought, the second one being such a big flop. Like, how does that even work? Like, did people just forget about the Leprechaun series?
How the hell does it make 6 fucking films after the second one flopped? Because I'll tell you why. It lit fire on the video market, man. This is a title that I would rent all the time. All these Leprechaun films, I would rent them all the time, even Part 4, and I think a lot of other people did too.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Because I was a victim of renting Leprechaun 4 also.
Yeah. So
I meant to use the word victim.
Leprechaun 2 opens up in early Ireland. This is the only time I believe where we see the leprechaun in, it's just in the woods, probably in like California or something, but it says that he's in Ireland, and he basically wants to marry a lass. And his whole thing is if she sneezes once, she sneezes twice, she'll be his bride when she sneezes thrice.
It's awesome you got that memorized. That's good
So
stuff.
I've seen this one a lot of times. I didn't even write that down or anything. I remember it.
That's
Um, so basically, what happens? A lot of people miss this. They're like, "Well, why didn't he marry her? She sneezed 3 times." The guy actually, her
her
father, or
father. Yeah, her
whatever
father.
he was, he actually says, "God bless you,"
Yeah, yeah,
and that deactivates the thing.
yeah.
So the leprechaun, in the leprechaun mythology, he can only try to get a bride every one once every 1,000 years. So that's quite a long wait. So he has to
And
wait 1,000
and I was
years.
wondering, again watching this, going, why? Like, what's the whole deal with the 1,000 years? Like, that's a long fucking time, man.
Yeah, that's
It's
insane.
it's, it's insane. Like, why would they ever come up with that number? It seems ridiculous, man.
It is. It absolutely ridiculous. So basically, it flash forwards to present day. Do you know where they are? What city
No,
they're in?
I actually was going to ask you that, if you knew
Is it
precisely.
in L.A.? I don't.
I mean, I'm assuming it's in California somewhere, but I don't know. I don't think it actually ever says. I know
It doesn't. I
I
just.
think it blatantly. Well, obviously, it blatantly. Where the third one's taking place, but yeah, this one I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. I
But
don't know.
it would make sense though if it was in Los Angeles because of the whole tour, the famous people tour and stuff like that. Like, isn't that pretty fucking
Yeah,
common
and
back
Harry
in the day?
Houdini's like mansion grave and shit. Like you would
Yeah,
think that would be somewhere there.
yeah. So we will just assume that it was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. But anyway, the leprechaun flashes forward to that. It just so happens that he was in a tree that was in Ireland that got took to Harry Houdini's place, and his ancestor of the of, descendant of the wife before also happens to live nearby. Her name is what, Bridget, I think. Bridget, correct?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, Bridget, and we have Cody. And Cody is kind of orphaned. I don't know if that's his uncle or his like just a family friend that he's being raised by, but Morty, which in my opinion might be the best character in any Leprechaun film. Morty's freaking sweet, dude.
Yeah, Morty's awesome. Morty's he's a player.
He's a
He's
little swifty, shifty
yeah,
type guy.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, he's all about the scam. He's all about the con. He's trying to rip people off. He has a business, a terrible, shoddy like tour of celebrity ghost houses or something. Um, Basically, what happens is he gets drunk and can't do the tour. Cody and Bridget are having some issues there, and the leprechaun eventually awakens after his 1,000 years and is going after Bridget, which is Cody's girlfriend, because he wants to marry her. And then Cody gets a hold of a coin, which
Yeah, because
pisses the
she's
leprechaun off.
and he's going after Bridget because she's a descendant of the girl that he tried to marry before.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought I said that. I don't know if I did or not.
yeah. But anyways, so that's what
So
it is.
this one, really quickly, the reason this leprechaun reminds me of the one, you know, in space is because he once again has a lot of different gold. He doesn't have the 100 gold anymore. He has like all these like necklaces and shit. He's 1,000 years old, which also means that he could live long, enough to be in space. Also, the way he's killed, he like kind of explodes, and in space. I'm thinking somebody might have came and pissed on him in part 2 at the end. The homeless guy might have come down there and pissed on him, and then like his just like in space how he comes back after being exploded. So that's how these two leprechauns are connected. um I've seen these movies way too many times.
I was gonna say, wow, I actually
Yeah,
didn't even think of that, but
yeah.
interesting.
So I mean, this one to me, I love the Morty character. I love just I think he's out of everybody. Bridget is a fucking terrible actress. She's like one of the worst in the whole series.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think Morty, anytime he's talking, he's so into his character. You can tell he's like that guy like really actually tried to do his best, and he's just like he's really believable as that like scam artist type guy. I really like the Morty character. It's probably the highlight of the film to me, especially his death.
Yeah, and honestly, one thing I always notice when I watch this film is the Clint Howard cameo in the film, which is super cool.
Yeah, I like that cameo too.
But
I think they had something here, and they didn't go with it. The leprechaun captures Bridget, and he starts like picking at her face, and like we're gonna have to make many changes because when you have babies, they're not gonna, if you don't look like them, they're gonna be really vicious and mean. Like I think leprechaun babies is where you should have went with this one.
Yeah, I think that actually would have been an interesting premise for sure. I think that would be absolutely hilarious on screen.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just picture it now, but yeah, I don't know. For some weird reason, I really do like this film.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you like Morty? Do you think he's awesome?
Yeah, I think he's awesome, man. He's totally awesome. Yeah, this is where the mythology changes a little bit in the Leprechaun series with introducing how you can trap the leprechaun, or he's hurt by iron bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing that they did that. I mean,
he's also like Wishmaster in this one too. The Jinn.
Yeah.
He like now they have the whole you grant wishes. Like if you capture a leprechaun, he gives you 3 wishes.
Yeah.
Which is exactly Wishmaster. That's like the Jinn is.
Yeah, I think the mythology too is that the leprechaun, you can grant or you get 3 wishes, but I think it's that whole thing about
be careful what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for because
Monkey's paw style shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think
which I love.
I like that whole angle too. Yeah, I like that too, totally because basically whatever you wish for is going to come back to fuck you over.
Oh man, and it fucks Morty over bad, man.
Oh yeah,
like time. He pulled that off so good. Like he just sounded like instant pain, like believable pain.
Yeah.
Don't you love the death of him though?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like one of the highlights of all the films for me. Like I love that death. It's
favorite death of the film.
Yeah, definitely the best death.
Not many, but.
So one thing I do really enjoy about this.
What about the fucking go-kart kill?
The go-kart kill?
I'm trying to think.
I totally just drew a blank on that.
How is Bridget killed?
Bridget's not killed. That's how.
Yeah, Bridget's not killed.
So who's the fucking person that dies with the go-kart?
Does the cop die with the go-kart? How's he die?
Yeah, maybe.
Why am I having a brain fart? I watched the movies like a week ago. I should fucking remember.
I know that he tries
somebody,
to run Cody over with
died,
it, but he doesn't because he has the coin.
Somebody got ran over with the go-kart.
I can't remember.
His little go-kart.
Yeah, but anyways, getting back to the film, one thing I really do enjoy about this movie is, how the mythology changes a little bit. But I love the fact that he starts talking in rhymes, the whole fucking film, man. It's just it's so cheesy. It's so cheesy and just enjoyable. It's so funny. You're anticipating those rhymes every time he talks. Yeah. It's just so funny. And
9 times out of 10, you know the word he's gonna rhyme with.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's written by a 4-year-old.
Every once in a while, he'll say one that you're not expecting. You'll be like, "Damn, touche,"
Yeah.
You got me on that one. This one also, I love the scene with. This one also, it kind of goes away from the silliness. It's less silly. It still has some silliness to it.
I was just going to say that. It definitely isn't as silly as the first one. I think this one is, maybe a little darker and stuff, but it's got a pretty cool atmosphere in this film, actually, too. A lot of it is set at night. I think
oh, my God, dude. One of my favorite lines is early on when he's he gets that bum's whiskey, and he spits it out. He's like, Canadian blend. The only whiskey is Irish whiskey. And I was like, goddamn Canadian blended whiskey sucks.
That makes me laugh, yeah. Actually, okay, but speaking of whiskey, so the scene in the bar when he
That's the
has
one. I love that scene.
the
But
drinking competition is so silly though, but it's so
oh,
funny because like
no, but how about when he walks out and Morty's just staring there and Cody's like, we got to do this and we got to do this and we got to get here because he's going to go after Bridget. And then he's like, he's here. And he's just down at the end of the bar. Dude, that shit's creepy. I remember that creeping me out when I was a kid. It's like, because you don't expect a leprechaun to just be out in public, like just sitting there. That's creepy for some reason. Like
I guess
there's
that
just a
makes sense.
leprechaun there.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the bar watching them and nobody's even like freaked out.
This film, it just feels like the stereotypical '90s film, does it not?
It does. It does.
feels
Is this the
so
only one set on
90s.
St. Patrick's Day?
I believe so. Yeah. This movie feels, it's just like the epitome of a '90s film, and the score.
Even Cody's hair. Cody's hair is like so 90s.
Oh, totally. But like the score feels like a fucking Full Moon film. You get that?
It really does.
Yeah, the score in this one, it actually.
observation.
Yeah, and I was like watching this going, man, does this ever feel like a Full Moon film? But I think there's some really well done shots in this film. It's directed by Rodman Film. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure who that is, but I really like the scene where, the leprechaun's standing, I think, over the homeless man, and the way they have that camera angle. I think he's standing just after he killed him or whatever. You know what scene I'm talking about, right?
The what?
It's like where the leprechaun's standing right over the homeless man.
Oh yeah, but
right
he doesn't
after
actually die, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay, that's okay.
Which is weird because you're already at a small body count. Like you think they would have, since he was already there. When he comes out of a tree, he's kind of creepy too.
That's right. Yeah, he doesn't kill him, but I really like that because they made the leprechaun look actually big in that scene. Like he's standing over him, like kind of thing, right? And the camera angle's pointed right up at him. I really like that shot. I thought it was really
and
fun.
that when the bottle goes to the tree and it's like all lights up, like all that looked kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, but I will say, like overall, this
it's
movie
his best entrance.
It had a lot more laughs than the first one. I just found this movie to be funnier just because of all the cheesy rhymes and just other things that were going on. It just, I don't know, but it's not as goofy as the first one, if that makes any sense.
I think that I really like the dynamic between Morty and the Leprechaun because they're both greedy as hell. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, it's like the Leprechaun kind of meets somebody who's like is trickstery as him, but overall like not as.
Morty's like the human version. Morty's like the human version of the Leprechaun.
Exactly. Like even how he's like pockets.
The contrast is too thick there to not notice that. Yeah, it's totally what you're doing there. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love that character. The thing that I find the most negative about this one is I really hate Bridget. 100%, I can't stand her. And it actually hurts the film for me. I don't like her, the way she looks. I don't like her acting. I don't like her character. I don't like how she's in the way. And I don't like how Cody is so obsessed with her and he's like a fucking teenager. Like, let her go, dude. Who cares if the leprechaun takes her and makes babies out of her or whatever?
Makes babies out of her.
I don't know what he's doing. But I think it's a stupid gimmick of like why he's like so worried about her. The whole time, we got to get to Bridget. Like,
I think it's that whole
dude.
High school fucking love thing. And he's just, maybe it's his first love. Who knows?
But the thing is, I'm fine with that if you make it seem believable and pull it off right. But this film doesn't even come close to that. It's just a plot device.
Yeah. But from the first film to this one, I think they kind of upped I think the body count's a little higher in this one, and I think the gore is a little upped in this one too than the first film.
How many bodies are there in the first one? 3, 4.
I think there's like 3. I think there's like
4.
There might be a couple more
O'Grady's, the cop, and the pawn shop owner.
Yeah. I think this one has maybe a couple more kills, but it did seem a little more gory. I like some of the effects in this film too. I thought they're pretty funny for 90s effects. Like the one scene that always sticks out in this film is the pot of gold in the stomach.
Oh yeah, I love that scene.
That scene's so, I just love the way they did that, man. It's so awesome. Yeah. So, but
I always like when he's.
You guys have a favorite kill from this film?
It's definitely the pot of gold.
Yeah, pot of gold.
Okay, because I don't know, man. I really think the steamer to
Yeah,
the
the
face,
steamer's a good one.
steamer to the face always makes me laugh for some reason. I don't know if I should be laughing at that, but
I like when he rips that dude's finger off, which he also seems to do stuff like that a lot in the series too, ripping off toes and fingers and biting ears and shit.
yeah, interesting. Your thoughts on this, Jeremy?
He's like,
Jeremy's super quiet.
He throws him a quarter. He's like, "What's this?" He looks at it in disgust. He's like, "This is not gold. What is this like silver thing? This is gross."
Yeah.
I love that scene. Jeremy?
Okay, as a sequel, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of these films. I think they're fun.
Wasn't it in your top 5 franchises?
I don't think so.
I thought you had Leprechaun in your top 5 franchises.
I don't think
I could be wrong.
I don't
It
think
was
so.
a few episodes back.
I'll have to look back. I don't think so. So I must have been fucking drinking. But I don't know. You talked about everything.
One thing to talk about was the end scene with in the cave thing. Dude, how bad are those sets? Like sometimes it looks good, but
it's
like
a $2 million budget. What the fuck do you expect?
That's
quite a bit.
That's a good point though.
Not really.
I noticed the same thing, man. It's just
$2 million.
I mean, it looks like a full moon set, and full moon films are way less than $2 million.
Oh, $2 million is a high budget film for full moon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying about those sets though. It's
don't you like the explosion? Don't you like the explosion?
But,
come on.
Yeah, the explosion was cool, but I mean, like if you really look at it, it looks bad. But I mean, for what it is, it's acceptable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't really bother me that much, to be honest. But it just kind of adds to the. I don't know. I guess the overall kind of feel to it. I mean, like I said before, that feeling like a full moon film, it kind of makes sense that the end scene would look so shitty. I don't know. It's just me though. But
anything else? Rating time?
Oh, I was lagging a bit. How do you not hate Bridget? Did you answer that?
I don't think she bugs me as much as she bugs you. But I do. She totally is bad. But I don't know, man. Maybe I just kind of tuned her out a little bit, and I just looked at her tits the whole time. I don't know.
That is a
what is this, Leprechaun 4?
By the way, when she gets naked.
That's totally a body double. For sure it is. I mean, it's that classic
that was
body
a
double.
Weird kill, man. What is up with that kill?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, where the hell did that fan thing come from?
All right, so ratings. Do we have any other thoughts on this one? I mean,
no, I'm good. Yeah.
All right, part 2. What do you give it?
I give it a 7 out of 10.
7.
Well, that's exactly what I have written down here.
7. Huh. I give it 6.5. I'll go down a half from the first one.
Yeah, 7.5 in the first, 7 in the second one. Q.
So Leprechaun 3 comes out 1 year later. 93, 94, 95. 3 years in a row. And I think Leprechaun 4 was in 96 or maybe 7. I don't know.
So Leprechaun 3 was 95.
Yeah,
Leprechaun 4 was...
3 Leprechaun films in 3 years. That's pretty impressive. Leprechaun 3 is set in Las Vegas. It's set at a casino, the Lucky Shamrock Casino.
Which I think is a fictitious casino. As far as I've been to Vegas a few times, I can't remember a place being called that. So I was actually trying to figure it out too, and I was like, I think it's fictitious. So, anyways, go on.
The Scott is our lead character. He's a male. He's driving to college in California, I think, and he picks up a hitchhiker named Tammy who works as a magician's assistant at the Lucky Shamrock Casino. He pretty much is like obviously infatuated with her, annoyingly so. He convinces her to let him take a look around in the casino, and right away, man, Scott is a chump. This guy is a
He's
complete
a dick. Scott's a dick.
and a dick. So he goes in there, he cashes his like $23,000 check and goes to the craps table or whatever the hell that game is, and pretty much blows all his money. Carolyn Williams is pretty much just suckering him in, and tells him to pawn his watch. He goes across the store. Meanwhile, over there, there's an Indian dude who buys a statue of the Leprechaun with the first appearance of the medallion. There's a medallion around a Leprechaun statue, and this guy comes in and got like one eye, one arm, one leg, and sells him this statue. And the Indian dude takes off the medallion, and the Leprechaun comes to life, and that's how Scott becomes involved with the Leprechaun. He ends up grabbing one of the shillings, one of the 100 shillings. Once again, back to 100. That's why this is the same Leprechaun as the first film. And the gimmick in this one is that if you for each shilling you have, you make a wish, and that wish comes true. So he wishes that he was hitting big at the casino. He transports back over there. He's winning mad money. There's, a shady casino owner. There's all these different characters, the great Fazio, the magician, and there's a lot of stuff going on in this one. That's why I like it so much.
But it's funny that he starts to turn into a leprechaun.
And I actually like that little gimmicky thing too. Like that's the mythology of this one.
He starts to turn into the leprechaun because he actually gets the leprechaun, well, I guess, blood in his
wound.
So he basically just, I guess, to transfer DNA, I guess that's how it works.
Makes sense,
So, yeah.
Not.
I don't know. I think it's fun, man. I think this film being set in Vegas is so perfect.
It's almost as perfect as the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, it
lost another $800,000 on its budget.
There's a lot of greedy people. A leprechaun in Vegas, really, like, it's just so perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to say though, like,
yeah.
So shortly after, he totally, makes this wish, and it obviously comes true. He fucking racks up the cash. The shady casino owner or runner, whatever, the pit boss or whatever, they basically conjure up this plan to rip him off and stuff, right?
Well, that's the Fazio and Carolyn Williams.
Yeah. So then you got that going on. Well, meanwhile, the leprechaun's trying to get his shit back.
He's 1 shilling short again.
Yeah. So he's after them, and all these people kind of get mixed up in the leprechaun. I think he's a little more sadistic in this one.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
He is.
Kind of steps it up in this one a little bit.
He does. There's better kill, like the Fazio kill, man. Come on, that's some like ruthless shit.
Oh yeah.
I think that he has a lot of good lines in this one. When he puts the green shit in Fazio's hand, that was just really funny to me. I don't know. I think Carolyn Williams is really awesome in this one because you look at her in this role where she's like this casino, craps table player, runner. And you look at her in like Chainsaw 2, it's a completely different character. She got some range, dude. It's sad that she never really took off and was in a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Carolyn Williams.
What exactly was the budget for this film? This was obviously the first non-theatrical film, but what are we looking at here? Anybody know?
I thought it said 1.2 million.
Okay.
Budget?
Yeah. I did
it
notice
definitely made money.
I noticed in this one, obviously, being set in Vegas, you're probably going to have a little more, advertising going on in the film. But the outside shots and stuff, there's commercialized images, of McDonald's and other places and stuff. So I don't know if you guys noticed that at all.
Well, it's in Las Vegas. How could you avoid that?
But I mean, there is areas where you could shoot where you would have none of that, though, for sure. But I mean, they're obviously paying to have that in that film. I'm sure it was used legally, not illegally. So,
but. What do you, I cut out for a second. What are you guys saying?
Just with the with the blatant advertising in the film.
Oh
That's
yeah.
why I asked the budget, because there's a lot of shots where they're showing McDonald's, they're showing a lot of like commercialized things in the film. I just thought that was kind of interesting because you don't see like any of that in the first two films at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Well,
even
they probably
seem.
got some kickback for some
Yeah.
product placement.
Oh, totally, totally. Yeah, I just
Um,
thought I'd point that out just because it was something I noticed that wasn't in the other two films at all.
I always find it super funny when there's like 1995 CD-ROM technology in movies. Leprechauns and folklore, or whatever the hell he was fucking looking at. But that thing had a lot of mythology stuff on there, man. We learned a lot about the leprechaun. We learned that, two leprechauns in the same place equals bad. They don't like, they're very
like-
territorial.
They're like beta
Yeah.
fighting fish.
Yeah, they really like potatoes.
Of course they do.
Dude, that scene where he's like eating potatoes, and he starts saying something about like he says some like little rhyme, and then he's like, "What the hell did I just say?"
Yeah.
It's funny, man. Once again, I found the girl to be kind of annoying. I don't really like Tammy too much. Way less annoying than Bridget, but Tammy is not very great either.
No, she isn't, but she's pretty damn good looking though.
Yeah, way better looking than Bridget.
Yeah. So, yeah, I could handle that. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that the kills in this one were pretty good.
Yeah, they
Again,
definitely
with the-
stepped it up in the kills department.
I guess the body count again. I wish I had counted the kills in these. Or I wish there was like a listing of all the kills. But again, it's not that high. But I found it to be a little more, maybe a little gorier, maybe a little bloodier and stuff with the kills, and kind of definitely stepped that up. But I don't know. Overall, I really like this film, man. I think it
So do I.
has a lot to do
There's
with
a
the
lot
Vegas
going
setting.
on. There's a lot. It's a well-told story. This one, they mapped out the story well. It doesn't feel as generic as like the 2,000-year-old bride thing. This one seems like they had some ideas. They brainstormed and they worked it out and got a plot going for a third Leprechaun film. The setting's good. The characters are funny, entertaining. Carolyn Williams. There's some stuff that each one has their own thing. They each want to wish for something. Carolyn Williams wants to be young again and beautiful. Fazio wants to be. Fazio is fucking man. That guy
the
is
greatest
just a
musician
fucking-
ever. Or,
yeah. Greatest magician.
Did I say musician? Yeah. I just
Yeah,
said
and then I said it too, trying to correct you.
musician. Magician.
Yeah, but he's a piece of shit, man. Fazio is just a piece of trash. He's terrible.
He's that
He
Fabio.
thinks he. Oh man, he's pretentious. He just is like.
Fabio.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, the flaming beauty shit when he sets the table on fire is so funny.
Yeah.
The leprechaun getting thrown out the window, man. That shit's funny as hell.
Oh, that is such a good part. It's actually one of the best parts.
He
I was
gets a
trying to-
steak knife to the forehead, man.
I was trying to think, man. I don't know if you guys remember, but when did Mike Tyson bite Evander Holyfield's ear off? Do you guys remember what year that was in? Because
No.
there's a scene in this film where the leprechaun bites off this ear, and it just instantly reminded me. And I'm wondering if they put that in the film because it was.
Does he say
kind of,
spicy?
I can't remember what he says,
Because
but it's just.
it's an Indian guy.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny.
Indian food, so spicy.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering if it was around the same time. Like I honestly can't remember when that happened in the ring, but I just thought maybe that was just kind of a jab, biting the ear off. So funny. One thing I do note, like in the first three films, the look of the leprechaun, he looks very similar in all three films. You guys
I was gonna bring that up too. The makeup is very consistent.
very consistent. And then we'll talk about part 4 in a minute here. But yeah, in the first three films, like it looks like they could have been shot all together. I think it's very consistent with the makeup, which is very cool. I like that.
I think the weirdest fucking scene is that robot sex scene. It doesn't make any sense. It's just weird. It's like what?
But how can you
This
not
is-
have a
It
robot
has
sex?
boobs. Like what is that? Why does it have boobs? Why does this robot have boobs?
Why not?
What?
Yeah, it totally doesn't make any sense.
It has rubber boobs. What is going on here? What is?
Oh man,
explain that. Somebody has some explaining to do.
You know what's a funny scene in the hotel room when the Leprechaun's doing those TV commercials.
Yeah.
Those fucking TV commercials make me laugh every time. It's so funny, man. I just think that's so good. It's not even like over the top goofy. It's just funny.
Yeah,
you know, it's just
this
it's not even silly. It's just
this
funny.
one really isn't that goofy. I think
not.
it's played like really good. Like in terms of like the comedy mixing well, unlike the first film, like this one mixes well with like the horror, and it never feels like over the like. I mean, Leprechaun in general is over the top, but it doesn't feel as over the top as some of the other films. I actually really like Part 3 a lot.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. Like I said, the setting alone is just so perfect. But they developed, like you said, like, you know, they added in a bunch of things. They really kind of bring out a whole pile of other elements to the Leprechaun character and stuff with the awesome computer graphics in the film.
Yeah,
it's better than
you're learning
Cube
things.
Better than Cube 2.
But you're learning things, and I think that's kind of cool how they just kind of, you know, developed.
When Scott is going like full blown like Leprechaun, and he's like in the hospital, and his like chest is all like caving in and shit. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I just like how everyone's such a piece of shit, though, man. Like when they're trying to run tests, or they find out that he has all that money on him, and then the doctor, the nurse, are like, oh well, let's run a spinal tap and let's do this. And let's
couple
do
more
that.
EKGs. You know, like it really does like. You know, it has some of the social commentary there with like Vegas and just, you know, the greed in Vegas.
Everything is so fucking greedy.
Yeah. You know, even the final act, I think it was a bit anticlimactic with, you know, the way everything ends, but up till then, man, I think this is a very solid film in the Leprechaun series with very little flaws.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
minor things.
I do agree about the ending for sure. I don't really want to say anything else about it, but
I don't want to spoil the ending.
Yeah. But I know where you're coming from with that, but
I think if you're gonna pick a Leprechaun film to watch, this is the one. This is the one that you know, maybe if you want to show somebody that's uninitiated in the Leprechaun films, like this is the one I think people would find most entertaining.
Yeah, I agree actually.
Anything else?
Nah, that should be it.
Ratings?
I'm gonna give this one 6.5 again. I think it's fun. I like the setting.
I gave this one a 7.5.
7.5.
That's exactly what I have on mine too.
Really?
7.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like this one more than the first one in terms of like which one I want to watch the most. Like I love watching Leprechaun 3. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's definitely
better than the next one.
That's a given. Does somebody else want to set this one up?
No, JP. I can't
come
talk
on.
about. I can't.
I just set up 3 in a row. Moodz.
Well, keep going.
Oh shit.
Got 2 more.
Leprechaun 4 in space. It's literally that's in the title. That's in the title.
I know.
And you know something I never get about the whole in space thing?
And it had a bigger budget than the last one.
It's not really in space. It's in a spaceship.
Yeah.
It's never in space. Like it has nothing. You can make it on the ground and be in the same setting.
Yeah.
So this is set like in the future. There's Jesus fucking Christ. The Leprechaun is once again. This is why he's the same Leprechaun as from Part 2 because he's after a chick. You see what I'm saying? They're connected. I'm telling you. he's after a chick so that he can become king. So he's probably like 4,000 years old by now at least.
Yeah, they definitely don't say how old he is in this one. But.
Yeah. So they don't even say a time at all. I don't think they say, like, they don't give a time.
No, they don't. No.
So basically, he captures this princess from another planet, probably some planet that starts with a Z, because that's what you do when you make an alien planet. You start with a Z, because a Z is a weird letter that's not common in regular speaking. And basically this group of Marines, if that it, Jesus Christ, these people are not Marines. What the hell is going on here? They are there to rescue the princess, and I'd say right away in this first scene, the
Sarnia.
Leprechaun.
Her name's Sarnia.
Zarnia with a
Yeah.
Z, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying here? So the Leprechaun
Already cliched.
betrays his character right away by jumping on a grenade. And I just think it's a total betrayal to what the Leprechaun is. He is out for himself, and that's it. Even if he can come back, he's not going to put himself in physical harm by blowing himself up. And who knows if he even knew that guy was going to piss on him or not. Now, if you try to talk about this film, like, if somebody just heard me talking about this, like, it would sound insane. Because it's the silliest goddamn idea ever. A leprechaun in space. Like, just think about that. That's so silly.
How the hell did he even get there?
Yeah, I don't even... Ugh.
Like, that's the weirdest thing. That's the most infuriating thing about this movie, is that he's just all of a sudden there.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck is he on this spaceship, apparently in space? Like, there's obviously hundreds of millions of women in the world where he could be anywhere else, but he's in fucking space?
Yeah.
What?
Jason was in space, though.
Oh, there's just nothing there. He's just there. I mean, at least in Jason 10, they explain how he got on the ship. Leprechaun's literally just fucking there.
This one, I don't know the budget on this one, but it has to be the
1.6 mil.
budget.
1.6 mil.
1.6 mil? Are
More
you
than
serious, dude?
No, more than number 2 and 3.
The first one had a bigger budget?
Yeah, and that's it.
They spent $1 million on the scene with the middle finger.
So basically, they take this guy pisses on the leprechaun's body, as you do, and then they take him back they go back to the ship. They're all happy and shit. There's this fucking weird dude. It's like half cyborg and half fucking Nazi.
He's like the leader of the whatever you want to call him. Like, what are they? The military.
They're Marines, dude.
I think they're actually Marines. Are they actually labeled as Marines?
Yeah. I think they do say Marines a couple times.
Okay.
Yep.
But like, I guess being in the future, I guess in the future you have like you almost have like Terminator type Marines.
I kind of spaced out. Did we already talk about him coming out of the guy's dick?
Well, we started to. Like, he pisses on him, and a little like green light shoots up in the dude's like crotch, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell was that?" And I don't know how nobody saw like little like sparklies shooting up into his like dick, because like, are we only supposed to see that, or
it's so bad? Please help me.
Is the audience only supposed to see that? Because if so, like, that's stupid.
It's
so bad.
So
it's so
bad.
bad.
Then he fucking comes out of his dick.
The Leprechaun, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. He pulls out a lightsaber, and what? A lightsaber?
I know, man. I know.
And how
he used the Schwartz.
Yeah. So
this movie brings me to tears. It's so bad.
It is, man. It's actually so bad. It's actually bad, though.
This one is like straight up slasher. Like, he's not even after his gold. Like, really.
Yeah, and actually, and that's the thing that I was going to bring up too. I noticed in the film they don't even bring up the fact about the gold until about 20 minutes left in the film.
Yeah, and he's
like,
he's not even that mad. He's like, "What is this? They shrunk gold." He's not even that mad. I would expect him to be flipping shit. He's all his goddamn gold is just those little nuggets.
Yeah, and there's no charm in this film. Like, he's not talking in rhymes anymore. I mean, maybe the odd little one, but it's like nothing. Like, really, really fucking bad puns too. Like, just
amazing.
Like so many bad puns in this film too, and it's just like, ugh. The writing
Scream Factory should release
So-
Leprechaun 4 on Blu-ray in a
I
collector's
think they should
edition.
release the four originals in a box set. It'd be awesome. But so the nerve that this film has in one scene when they try to do some like social commentary or some shit where he's like, the chick's like, or the dude's like, just because I'm a Marine doesn't mean I'm a meathead and can't understand words. I'm like, get over yourself. You're actually going to try to do that right now? What are you talking about? You're in space, goddammit. You were in space with a leprechaun, and you're going to talk about, the chick knowing karate and stuff. She's not just a brainy. Get out of here. Shut up. Don't
I
even
know.
try that shit with
The
me,
whole
man.
screenplay is terrible in this. It's so bad. And that's one thing every time somebody talks in this film, I want to punch my ears. I want to
Oh my
punch my
god,
ears.
the characters are the worst in the series. Every one of them sucks.
Every single
Except for
character
Warwick
in this film is super cliched and annoying.
Yeah.
It's like the screenplay is
No.
fucking bad.
Sorry. The only person who doesn't suck is Styx. He was Spider from Return of the Living Dead and Demon from Friday the 13th Part 5. He's awesome. He's awesome in this movie.
But yeah, it's just like, what in the fuck were they thinking with this movie? And the thing that really drives me kind of nuts about this, the guy that directed Part 3, which might even be my favorite in the whole franchise, directed this one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's the same fucking... Okay, this is what brings me to my point. How do you go from Leprechaun 3, which is actually kind of good, like it's got some really good elements to it, to this just abomination? Like, this is an abortion, man.
Yeah, it's
so bad.
so bad.
There's nothing about this film that's even redeemable. Like, the effects are so bad. There's no
I
good
don't know,
kills.
man.
There's
I
no
think
good
that
kills.
the spider thing actually looks kind of good.
I don't know, when he fucking comes out of that guy's dick, oh my god, I was fucking pissing my pants. Tears down my face.
How about the boobs for boobs scene?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you know what? We forgot about boobs in this movie. And it's like, well, we'll just write in this part where she just shows the boobs. Why? Well, they do that on their planet.
There was they actually had the nerve to actually give a reason why she shows boobs. That was like a death sentence, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying.
I was a little pissy. I was like, come on, man. I mean, Debbie Dunning, we need to see her boobs.
Yeah.
She was the girl from
Total Time
Improvement. Yeah. Just so hot. But yeah, talk about it. Like, that's got to be one of the worst ways ever to show boobs in a film. Like,
so let me ask you this:
bad.
what is the leprechaun doing? He's looking for his girlfriend. Like, that's his main goal.
I don't know.
He's just killing people, looking.
No,
for his
he
girlfriend.
kills people.
He's basically, it's like Part 2. He's trying to track down that princess, or that potential princess.
I know, but that's what he's doing. Like, that's his goal.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. But
That's
like, my
bullshit.
whole thing is, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, first of all, how the hell did he end up there?
Now I'm thinking
And,
about the ending with the comparing himself to the Wizard of Oz.
But the thing that it drives me fucking.
How can you compare this movie to the Wizard of Oz? That's like the funniest thing ever. Oh my god.
Okay. My thing is that, the leprechaun supposedly is going to marry this princess, and then he's going to reign over the whole world. Well, first of all, he's in fucking space.
She's
the
galaxy.
Princess. Yeah, like, what is he going to be reigning on the galaxy? He's not Earth. It has nothing to do with Earth.
He's gonna reign over the planet of like Zignebulus, and he's already said that the planet, like her father's a fool. Like, I don't even care. I don't even know why I know that.
No.
It's fucking silly, dude. It really is just like, I don't know why it's such a huge step down, because it goes like up, like it's like, you have 3 okay films and then just like a straight nosedive, but it doesn't seem like it should. Like why?
Well, and that's why I brought up the fact that it was the same director that did Part 3. I'm like, what the hell? Like, was there an alternate script for this? And he's like, no,
director's cut.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Door 2. I'm going to go with what is behind Door 2 here, and we're going to go with the idea of Leprechaun in space. But we're not going to give a reason why the Leprechaun's actually there.
Yeah, but that's why he probably didn't direct another movie for 8 years, because he's like, because he's so embarrassed to show his face after Leprechaun 4. He's like,
dude,
I had to
lead
do.
Mel and the lead female are the most generic leads ever.
I had a dude
Ever.
shoot out of someone's dick, so I can't make another movie.
And you know, like I guess the sergeants of the Marines there, you know, the half cyborg fucking whatever the deal was with that.
Yeah,
I don't understand because they never really even say why he's like that. But
and didn't this guy direct fucking?
Well, it turns out that he was just a robot the whole time.
Didn't he direct fucking Night of the Demons and Dead End Drive-In? This guy, Night of the Demons 2, I mean.
No, Kevin's still directing Night of the Demons 2, I think.
No, according to fucking Wikipedia.
Or I'm thinking
he directed Night of the Demons 2.
I'm thinking fucking Witchboard. Never mind.
Dead End Drive-In he directed too.
So I think
You're totally. I'm just having brain farts right now. I don't just scratch that off. Whatever the fuck I was talking about. But yeah, I know what you're saying, JP. Like, yeah, it turns out that he was actually like a full-blown fucking cyborg kind of whatever the fuck he was.
Well, he's just a robot.
Or a robot. But like, how did they not figure that out though? He had a fucking like plate and shit coming out of his head.
Well, I think what they say happened was he saved that dude and blew half of his skull off, and they fixed him. Like, that's what was said earlier by Styx.
And they just figured that he was still human? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It just seems so...
I hate that guy anyway. I hate the cross-dressing, like, crazy weird shit. It's just, like, doesn't make sense to me.
And I was going to say, like, his character is supposed to be kind of, you know, with his angry comments and, like, you know, it's just his snappy one-liners and shit. Man, dude was not funny at all.
No, neither was Dr. Evil 2.0.
No. Yeah, Dr. Evil 2.0. It's just terrible. Oh, it's just awful. Actually, I think there's one funny part in the film where the Leprechaun actually says to Dr. Evil 2.0, he's like, doesn't he ask him what he's supposed to be?
Yeah, that whole scene is like the best part of the movie.
I laughed because he's so just hard. I was like, totally. He totally just asked the question that's on every one of our minds. What the fuck is this thing?
Yeah, like the Leprechaun's genuinely confused. He's like, what? He's like, and even the guy that we don't like, the cyborg dude, like even he has a line where he's like, you know, your ass is grass. If you even have an ass.
So bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I don't have much more to say about Leprechaun 4, to be honest.
How could you not have more to say about Leprechaun 4? What about the ending, dude?
Oh, the ending's so bad.
When he gets big.
And he's fucking
like, bigger is better.
It's like, oh, wait.
Looks in his pants and
the
shit.
password is wizard because I'm comparing it to the Wizard of Oz. And then he fucking self-destruct with only seconds his friend. Fucking Leprechaun in the window, man.
The middle finger, I actually started... I was laughing out loud by myself. I was like, that's so ridiculous. I just forgot how stupid this movie was. Like
Moodz says,
how bad it looks, dude. It's just like
so bad.
It's, oh my god.
There goes
CGI,
$1 million of their
budget.
budget.
The CGI that was here was pretty bad.
Oh, it was horrid. It's so bad. Leprechaun 4.
And then they have like fly references and like alien references and shit. Like what? Like the help me thing. You know that thing? Did you notice that?
Oh yeah.
So it's time to go. So it's time to go to the hood.
Okay, I just wanted to bring up. No, we still got to rate this one, but
that's right. Then it's time to go to the hood.
I mean, this movie it's stupid as shit, but you know the serving tray to that dude's face where it all flattens out. I was wiping tears away. I was laughing so hard. I'm like, that is so fucking stupid.
I have tears down my face talking about it. It's so bad.
I gotta be honest with this one though, man. Even though it's like completely awful, I actually do laugh a lot during this film. Like, and I'm not one of those people that really get into the so bad it's good stuff. Like I do every once in a while, but this is actually a film that I laugh at a lot. Like a lot, I laugh out loud in this film.
So bad.
Yeah,
it is bad as hell.
It's just so bad. So I'm curious, ratings on this one. When you guys rate this film?
I gave it a 4.
A 4?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Dude, it's like you're reading off my paper here. I gave it 4 out of 10 too.
Are you serious? Because I was expecting you to go way lower.
No, I
judging by how
honestly,
much shit we talked on it.
well, honestly, I gave it some points because I
You gave it the
literally
same rating as the woman? How is that possible? How do you compare this
Well,
on
they're
the same
different. You
level of
can't
the
compare
woman?
stuff like
well,
that,
they're
man.
totally
Yeah,
incomparable. Like it's just different.
I don't like when
They
people
get points on different levels. Like this movie's terribly shot, and the characters are all cliched and annoying. But at the same time, I found myself busting guts,
Yeah, it's
laughing at parts that I was just like, I have to give it pointers for that. Like it's just
that's exactly why I had to say that before we went into ratings, because that's what justifies my rating. It's because I actually it's entertaining because it's so funny. That I have to give it points for that. I have to.
yeah.
well, now
What
that
would
I'm
you rate it,
reading
Jim?
here, I gave it a 3. 3 for shittiness.
Jeremy's been like 1 point lower than us the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to go to the hood. Are you guys ready to go to the hood?
Yeah, does somebody want to set the hood up?
Yo, 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 yo. Hoodie,
Or
hoodie,
might as well
hood.
do the rest of them, huh?
Yep,
All
you're doing a
right.
good job.
I don't think so. That's why I
Well-
want to get out of it.
You know what? You can start it, and we'll just jump in there. So
Yeah.
just give it
So,
just a basic
Leprechaun in the Hood
synopsis.
opens up with fucking Afro Ice Tea and some no-name dude. Um, they're looking for. What are they even looking for? They just know about someone tipped them off that there's some like treasure buried somewhere.
Yeah, so they like free the leprechaun.
Well, he got the
Yeah.
medallion again.
That's
Is-
well. That brings me to the very first point. Is so this is my whole thing with why
Like
where
I
the-
think like
why the
Ice Key like made the leprechaun in prison, and these dudes like freed him, and that's why he was pissed off.
But it's okay. This brings my point. Like, why is that statue with the medallion? Like, why is he down? Like, why is he there? And
That's why I don't.
And
like
why does he want a magic flute?
and then
Well, he
this
wants
is
a
where
magic
mythology.
flute because
Yeah, but
Yeah,
when
it's magical.
when have
and
we
it
ever
fucking-
heard of magic flute in any of the series up until now?
Well, that's the thing. They keep kind of changing. And
Yeah,
kind
they
of
keep
in
adding
mythologies.
things.
Yeah,
It's just like the wishing on the coin. It's another gimmick.
basically there's no kind of reason why the leprechaun's there or why they're even looking or what and how they find this shit. So
Well, if there is a reason, they don't tell you in the film.
they don't tell you.
They might have had an idea, but they just didn't film it for some reason. I'm actually very curious to wonder, like, if somebody out there who was writing it did like, think like, oh well, at the end of part whatever, like, I think that this might have happened, and that's how I ended up in the thing. Like,
But
I think there has to
I
be
mean,
some thought process
But you
behind
have
it if
to
you're
remember-
writing a film.
you have to remember though, this is also the sequel after, in space.
Well, technically,
So
it'd be a prequel
there's-
to In Space.
Oh, I can't keep a straight face when you say in space. Just makes me laugh.
I mean, it could be a prequel. It could not be. Who knows? It just he's just in certain places with no.
Yeah, it could be a
exact
different
reason.
Leprechaun. This could be the Leprechaun. I'm telling you, Leprechaun
Hood
2 and
Leprechaun.
4, that's the same Leprechaun, and then Leprechaun 1, 3, and In the Hood and Back to the Hood are the same Leprechaun.
Yeah. So this is what makes Ice-T's character rich. He finds the gold.
Yeah, he finds
becomes
a
a big.
flute.
Yeah,
Man.
and and then he fucking basically, he starts up. What was the name of the rap label that he started up?
I can't remember.
I can't remember what it was, but anyways, he's this big like music mogul and stuff. He's a big gangster, rap gangster label
Cut
executive and
to Postmaster P,
stuff. And Stray
Bullet,
Bullet.
and
and
Butch.
Yeah, dude, Stray Bullet and Postmaster P. Yo, man, what's the P stand for? Stands
Positive.
for positive. That's so hard. I thought I was like Postmaster P. And like I love the scene in the film, right?
Because because I'm a postmaster. I'm sending a
He's-
positive message.
He's
I'm-
listening
I'm-
to their
I'm
demo
sending
tape.
mail, and it's
He's
positive.
He's listening to their demo tape, and he's like, yeah, and then he just shuts his shit off, and he's like, the fuck is this?
He's
This
like-
label, on this label, man, it's about bitches, hoes, and shooting motherfuckers in the face.
With an Uzi.
I'm like, holy fuck, man. This made
Dude,
me laugh
but he's
so
like,
hard.
it's not the worst thing I ever heard. Yes, it is. It's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Dude, the song, not to jump ahead too much, but the song in church is the worst fucking song I've ever heard in my life. It's the one that's like, Jesus loves me, this I know. Like, it's the worst fucking song ever, dude. Like, it's so bad.
You know, it's actually funny. I looked at the credits and stuff, and those two guys were actually performing those songs.
Oh, I know.
It's so crazy.
There's one song in here, I think, done by Ice-T when they're breaking into his fucking house that's playing, and it's like that's the only piece of like legitimate music in the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny that they didn't actually get artists to do a soundtrack.
I love how
You
Mark
think with Ice-T
Jones
on the
wrote
fucking
this.
set, he might have been able to, you know, like lend him a little bit of fucking, you know, like be like, yo, y'all are gonna be like pretty embarrassed if you do this. You might want to like, you know, try a little harder or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But everyone like Mark Jones wrote this, so it's like, what the fuck was he?
Well,
thinking?
no. I found out that guy is just he gets a writing credit.
No, he
because
didn't
of
get
the
a writing
characters.
credit for. He didn't get a credit for 3 or 4.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't. Look on the page.
Did you look on IMDb?
I'll look on IMDb.
I seen him get a writing credit for every one of them. I thought. I could be wrong.
You know what? I'm looking at the back of the DVDs right now, and his name is on the back of 3 and 4.
So I thought he was the actual writer of all of them, but turns out he just gets a writing credit for Warwick Davis because he created that character.
Yeah, it's
well, if you wrote
based on
Leprechaun
characters
4,
created by. Yeah, he gets a credit because he probably owns the rights to the Leprechaun character.
Yeah. So I think that this one is, you know, Jesus Christ, dude. The fucking whole idea that these like positive, why it doesn't even make sense. Like what?
Well, and
why
that's
are
it.
they
Okay,
rappers?
that brings up a point here. So you've got these positive rappers that, and this is
They're like
taking place
Christian rappers and
in
shit.
Compton. This is taking place in Compton. You know, basically, some could argue the birth of gangster rap and stuff. But I think it's interesting that I think it's Stray Bullet is wearing the Brooklyn shirt throughout the film.
Okay.
It's just something I noticed, right? Like they're in Compton and he's wearing a Brooklyn shirt. And they're all. I mean, there is positive rap that comes out from these. I mean, it's not completely out in left field though.
Dude, his name's Stray Bullet. You can't be a positive rapper when your name's Stray Bullet. A stray bullet is a bullet that hits somebody that isn't supposed to get hit in the first place.
Yeah,
that's
but
even worse.
They might be. Yeah, I know exactly what a stray bullet
That's
is.
even worse than like the right bullet. like it's even worse than the one that's set.
Oh yeah,
so silly.
Oh, for sure. I 100% agree.
But you want to know what the funniest thing is? Now that we're like pissing our pants laughing about this film has the highest reviews from critics out of the entire series. So it's like it's kind of funny that we're like talking about this, and it's like this is like the highly, the one film that has like the most like critically acclaimed shit, even though it's total garbage.
I'm surprised this movie even got reviewed by real critics.
Entertainment Weekly gave it a B+.
Okay, that's weird. But so then you have the whole idea that all right, they're positive rappers. They're gonna go rob fucking Mac Daddy. Fucking Mac Daddy, come on, more generic than Mac Daddy.
I know.
So they go to rob him and they like shoot shit and then they're like the just the whole. I don't get the positive thing. Why couldn't they just be regular rappers?
Well, I mean, that is regular though. I mean, when you really think about it,
like
I mean,
no, it's a gimmick. It's not just it. Like I'm just saying, like why couldn't they just be rappers? Like why?
Being positive is being a gimmick.
That the way they're using it is a gimmick because Stray Bullet doesn't even want to be a positive rapper.
Oh, I know, totally.
And they keep saying it's going to get us large and stuff. They're using it as a gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Well, Postmaster P isn't though. But he's not because he's actually trying to be legitimately positive. So he's like because honestly, like when Stray Bullet comes up with the plan to rob Mac Daddy, and Postmaster P is like, "Are you serious?" Like he's like, "We can't be doing this shit, man. We're trying to be positive." He even says that.
But he's the first one to like pull the gun out and like shoot the shit. Like I don't know. Like I think.
Well, it's not brilliantly written. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's obviously flaws. What's going on for sure?
The point of doing are they trying to deliver a message here? Like, what's the point of using the whole?
There's no message at all. I don't.
Then
think
what? Anyway,
I don't think
fucking Butch is still a virgin.
JP,
You got out. I think he was
Yeah,
talking.
bitch is still a what?
I said Butch is still a virgin when he dies. That's kind of sad.
You cut out.
That is sad, but yeah.
Yeah. Um. Shit, dude. So I think Straight Bullet's like the only likable character besides Warwick Davis and Ice-T.
Really?
Yeah, because Straight Bullet's funny.
He's okay.
I think Postmaster P's a fucking idiot.
What?
He's so
Just to
such
hear
an
you say
idiot.
that is fucking
He's
hilarious.
such a fucking idiot.
Why? I don't really understand why his character's so bad. Like, what do you mean? Like,
He's just it's fucking, dude. He's Postmaster P. Like it's so silly, dude. Your rap sucks, dude. You can't deliver a message when your rap's so fucking garbage. Like, and then he's like, I just fucking don't get him, dude. I think his character's too wishy-washy. I don't get it. I don't believe that uh, he's only, he's not, it's so hard to pick this apart because the writing's bad. So, but I don't like the character. I think he just looks terrible when he talks. I don't like him. He's annoying.
okay, yeah, I don't really have a problem with him at all. Like,
Are you
at
serious?
all. I don't.
He's the most annoying fucking character in this whole movie.
I just don't see it. I no, I don't see it. I don't think he's like to the point where he actually
so, like fake, dude. It's just like he's all like uppity, like we gotta send a fucking positive message and stuff. It's just, it's fucking fake as hell. I don't like why is he doing this? It doesn't. I don't feel like he's being serious. Like I don't feel like he really believes that he's supposed to be doing this shit. It's just like
it's so weird because I mean that's what he's all about. Like he's the one that's trying to talk them out of doing things and stuff, and then
he
of course
goes with them. What are you talking? How is you never do that?
But he eventually does, though. He eventually does, but he starts out.
Why, though?
It's like, well, because
you can't do that though. You can't be like this way and then go the other way. Like how is that? That's a terrible character.
But he was so driven and he wanted to be a star so bad that he broke his own fucking rules. You know, like he's like, well,
it's not just like
really
breaking rules, dude. Money. It's like a big deal. Like you're going and breaking and entering. It's not like just like, oh, he did something that, to get a little ahead. Like and then he shoots somebody. Like it's I just don't get the character. I don't get it at all. I think it's terribly written. I don't like the actor either.
Okay. Interesting.
You're actually ever going to talk about the Leprechaun or what? Talk about Master P.
Postmaster P.
Postmaster P.
I mean, you don't see
we haven't even talked about the Leprechaun.
Like playing both sides.
No, because I think that he's very much kind of, he turns into what you're saying he is because of Straight Bullet, basically. Straight Bullet was obviously the guy that really wanted to be doing this. Like you said, there's a whole scene where he tries to talk him out of it, and then he's like, well, fuck. He's just kind of, he's kind of drawn in by, his greed to be a star, and then Straight Bullet really kind of, pushes him in that direction. And
I mean, but yeah.
I mean, I think it's very normal. I think it's very normal for people. I mean, maybe it's the name that's throwing you right off. Postmaster P.
Dude, but the thing is, like it's normal for somebody to do this or do that, but not like it's not normal to like go from this end of the spectrum clear to the other by breaking and entering. It's such a huge level up that it's not like he went and stole a stereo or something. Like he's breaking and entering with guns. It's such a huge gap between
I'm not saying it's like completely not or right or anything. I know that's wrong. And it's. I mean, the script is. But for the script is bad. The script is bad. It's a bad script.
To go from completely positive to I'm breaking and steal shit is completely nonsense. It's silly. It's silly that that character would never do that. If he was serious about a positive message, there's no way he would go that far.
But I mean, that's also the script, though. It's not like his character. That's just the way it was written. It's just a bad script. It's a bad script.
It makes the character annoying to me because he doesn't stand behind anything that he believes.
Yeah, well,
So
he
character
is just a
seems
character in
bitchy and whiny, and he'll complain about it, but then he'll just go do it with them. Like he's annoying to me. I just don't.
But like I said though, like he felt fucking totally violated and shit. And I mean, I could see people snapping and doing some shit out of the ordinary. I mean, like I said, the whole point later on with them getting the whistle and not giving back that whistle and shit.
Well, even that, like even the
It's
idea
greed,
that,
man.
but even the idea that, like, all right, he wanted to be like this, like, successful rapper and stuff, like, but they're doing it by cheating. They're doing they're tricking people into liking them. That's against your positive, like, message and outlook on life, too. He doesn't follow his shit at all. At not one little bit he doesn't.
I know. I'm not
I cannot believe I'm going into this character so much. This is so silly.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the Leprechaun yet.
But it's actually, yeah, it's just a really poorly written script. Really, I mean, the characters are completely.
I mean, hate that dude, man. Not the actual act. I keep saying the dude, but I don't like. I just hate the character. Like, he just looks like a like.
Oh yeah,
I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it, man.
It's just so. I think you're having a hard time getting past the fact that, even in the beginning when he's supposed to be positive, coming from Compton and stuff. I mean, I don't know if you're kind of mixing that up with, just he should be hard and he should be gangster and stuff.
No, not at all. I just think what is the point of having the positive thing if they never go into it? They never do anything else with it. Like, why couldn't it just be like starving rappers? Like, why did they have to be like these?
Well, theoretically, but yeah, dude, it's just a bad script. It's a poorly written script, totally. I mean, if you're gonna start something, at least continue on that same line, right? Instead of changing it. I completely agree.
Oh man, it just I totally didn't get the whole thing with the
I am the Leprechaun
thing. It didn't even seem like they like Stray Bullet obviously didn't even want to be like in that, and Butch is just like there along. It just seems so like unbelievable that that group even formed to begin with. Like, they're friends, and like whose idea? Like, Postmaster just rolls up and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna make this positive rap. We're gonna be large. We're gonna be so large. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna be all large and shit." And like,
but who knows though, man? They could have been. I mean, like I said, the script is full of fucking holes. It doesn't even make sense. But who knows? They could have been friends. They could have been friends their whole lives. And obviously,
we haven't even talked about the blowjobs or the cloverleaf joint yet.
The problem with it,
come on,
is
talk about this character for half an hour, JP. Get the fucking point.
I'm not talking to the character. Shut up.
All right,
God, get the sand out of your vagina, man.
Shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah, man. Let's talk about the zombie host and the four-leaf clover joints.
It's so hard to fucking even believe that these guys believe that they could be rappers. Like, what are they doing? Like, bad.
But honestly, dude, like, I mean, that's just kind of overthinking a little bit. It's just a movie. It's a stupid script, and it's just bad. So I don't know. Let's just move on. But like, this movie.
Are we done talking about Postmaster P?
I think we should leave the whole positive thing out of for a little minute.
If you wouldn't have like fucking said that
no, I just didn't think...
I wouldn't have had to explain why I thought that he didn't. I was having trouble explaining it at first.
Well, I just didn't. It just didn't bug me as much as it's bugging you. I guess I don't know. I just I just kind of take it for it being a bad script, right? And obviously these characters would probably not do that shit, but it is what it is, right? It's just, I don't know. It just didn't bug me as much as it bugged me. So, do we want to actually talk about the Leprechaun?
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the Leprechaun.
I mean, we didn't really talk about the Leprechaun in like any of the films, like, as the main character, though. We did talk about all the characters in the other films. Like, I just found this character to be more annoying than most. That's why I wanted to go into it a bit.
Yeah, but you have leaf joints, you got blowjobs.
So what do you want to say about those?
Nothing. It's just fucking terrible. It's like fucking It's like fucking number 4. It's just horrendous. This movie sucks so bad. Not as bad as number 4, but it's fucking just.
Yeah, I honestly like this one a lot more than Part 4. To be honest, Part 4 is just a.
Yeah, I like this one a lot more too.
Well, What are your thoughts on this one, JP?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're just trying to trick me into talking a lot again.
No, I just want you to bring up something else than Postmaster P's positivity.
Well, I mean, that's like a huge part of the film, though. That's like it's.
It
I don't
is,
know.
but
That's the
you know,
only thing that bothered me. Like, I don't really have much else to say besides I just hated the characters, and
all
I
right,
couldn't.
all right. Let's
Except
just
for
cut to
straight
the
up
end about
push.
Leprechaun rapping.
Oh God, that was just.
It's so bad. It's so bad, but it's actually entertaining. It's pretty funny, actually.
I
I don't know, man. This movie again didn't really have a lot of. The body count once again is very similar to the other films. I did like the scene with when the leprechaun puts his hand like right through the minister's chest.
Yeah, like in fucking Dead Alive.
Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty well. It just surprised me. I hadn't watched this movie in a while, and I was like, "What? Those gore effects actually aren't that bad." You know, I'm pretty sure most of their budget probably went to that one fucking scene, but you know, it actually wasn't that bad. I mean, as a whole, if you take out all these little, you know, things with the positivity and shit, I mean, the movie's not the worst thing in the franchise or that I've ever fucking seen, to be honest. But
Yeah, no, I actually kind of like this one, like
yeah.
a little bit. Like I find it entertaining. I like the only thing that really bugs me is the whole plot with their idea that they're going to be fucking, you know, hip hop artists that are fucking.
But it's so cliched though, right? Like you have a movie set in the hood, and guess what? Your main characters
That's
are
what
focusing on
so
fucking rap music.
Yeah, I
so
mean
cliched.
it's almost borderline stereotypical.
Like at times, this movie actually kind of reminds me of CB4 in a way. You know the movie CB4. Have you guys seen CB4?
No.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, forget it then.
CB4?
CB4 is amazing.
I'll look it up.
So good, man. Chris Rock, it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. There's not really a whole lot to say. I mean, this is the film where with the magical flute, it basically puts everybody into a trance, like in a.
And I don't even get it. How does it even work?
I don't know. As long as you cover your ears, you don't get put into this trance. But when you blow this thing, everyone kind of.
What happens when they're in the trance? They just like whatever you like them to like after that? You don't have to say anything or specify.
Yeah, I know. It's such a weird kind of stupid thing, but yeah, I guess whatever you do, it's kind of like hypnotizing the crowd.
Oh,
or
and
people.
what the fuck? Dude, douche plus jelly plus electricity equals fucking combustibility? What the fuck is this? Or flammability, whatever the fuck he said? What is that? What is that? That doesn't even make any sense at all.
Only the fucking virgin could figure out something like that, though, right? Yeah. He's thinking too much. So funny.
And I thought, like, there's things that I just hate in this movie, like the zombie fly girls. Like, come on, are you serious? Like, what is that? Who wrote that?
I know. It's such a weird thing that they even put in the film.
Zombie fly? What? Why? Why is the Leprechaun have zombies now? Doesn't even make any sense.
No, I don't understand where they were going with that either, to be honest. But I don't know. I thought the 4-leaf clover joints was kind of funny.
That was my favorite part. Besides the ending. But the ending is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that out of this the whole entire series, I think that Postmaster P is my least favorite character. Yep. He's so fake, dude. It's so,
why
there's
JP?
one thing that annoys me
fake?
more than somebody who's like pretending to be something that they're not.
But it's kind of funny though. It's kind of a rip, like on a lot of hood movies and stuff. How there's always that
like,
one like
Trey,
super positive.
Yeah.
There's always
like,
that one super positive person and stuff in the films, and like, he's supposed to be that, but it's just written poorly. I understand where you're coming from. His character's written really poorly because. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna name yourself Postmaster P, you probably should be a little more positive. And I don't know.
Stuff like that just really annoys me. It's like I just don't get the idea, like how you can try to preach that this character is gonna be positive, but it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like it's completely he did nothing but say positive lyrics. That's the only thing he did. He didn't do anything else. He didn't feed any homeless. He didn't do anything but write positive lyrics. And that's it. That's the only positivity he's done in the whole film. He tried to convince his friends not to rob some people. He went with them and robbed some people and shot somebody.
Does the Leprechaun talk in rhymes in this film?
Yes, very much so. Like,
I meant like throughout the whole film. Like it seems like in this movie that there's a little less Leprechaun action. Am I just tripping?
when you said, "Am I just tripping?" It just reminded me of like when the Leprechaun first smokes weed, because we first see it with him and Ice-T, and he's like that shit's the bomb. He's like, the bomb. He's like, what is the bomb? He's like, this is good. This is good. He's like, fuck that. That shit's the bomb. And he's like, the bomb. I don't have much else to say about it.
But at least back, to part 5. Actually, I don't know if we mentioned in part 4, but I thought Warwick, or the makeup in part 4, was the worst in the whole franchise. Do you notice that he looks different in that film?
Notice.
He basically has freckles all over his face, like he doesn't have in any other film, and his ears look a little different. I don't know. The makeup in part 4 is a lot different, but I thought
everything in part 4 is asshole.
But even in part 5 and 6, he looks like the Leprechaun again. I don't know what the fuck the deal is with part 4, man.
I know that in the first film, he has a greenish mold look to his makeup also that I really like, and it kind of went away from that as the films went on. Mm-hmm. Around the eyes and stuff, his skin's green. It looks moldy.
Yeah.
Like the movie.
Yeah.
Ugh, man.
All right. Well, are we getting out of the hood now?
Are we going back to the hood?
Nah, back to the hood.
Back to the hood, motherfucker. So
what do you guys rate?
Man, I'm so fucking tired. I can barely think right now.
What do you guys rate part 5?
I've been up for so long. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I gave it actually a 6 right now, though, right?
Yeah, and it's okay. We're back.
Okay. So I don't know what cut off there, but anyways, we can just re-edit.
Yeah, we'll just re-edit it back together.
So I rate this film a 6 out of 10. Jeremy, what'd you give it?
4.5.
4.5. Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
If Postmaster P wouldn't annoyed me so much, it definitely could have given it a higher score.
This movie always... I remember watching this when it first came out, and I absolutely hated it. I could not stand
Did you hate Postmaster P?
I don't remember, but I really did not like this film, and it's actually kind of grown on me over the years. I've watched it a couple more times, and I probably got the most enjoyment out of it this time. I don't know why. Maybe it was just in the right mood.
We've talked about 5 Leprechaun films in 2 hours.
I knew this was going to be long. That's why I wanted to make.
We're 10 minutes away from the 3-hour mark.
That's awesome.
Well, that's definitely going to take up a lot of space on iTunes.
All right, so part 6, JP. We're back to the hood.
We're going back.
Okay, back to the hood. This one is honestly kind of feels the most the most serious in terms of tone. It's kind of weird. So we follow a group of characters of names I don't really know.
Emily, Rory, James.
Emily, Rory. Okay.
James,
and Emily.
Esmeralda.
The girl is basically struggling. She wants to get out of the hood. Yeah, I agree.
She's so hot.
She wants to get out of the hood with her friend.
She wants to
go to college and stuff. The hood's holding her back, holding her down. They end up, through a series of events, they end up finding a chest that contains gold coins. Now this chest is another gimmicky thing where it fills back up with gold coins every time you close the lid and kind of shake it a bit. So it's like an endless supply of gold coins. Leprechaun's pissed off. He wants his gold back. And I don't really understand how they awakened the Leprechaun in this one. Because he was, at the beginning, we see that the father, James, or whatever the hell his name was, I don't know. Jacob, he somehow stopped the Leprechaun and things came out of the ground and pulled him into the ground. So
yeah, there's a bunch of weird things in this film actually. One thing I noticed about this movie that I don't know what it was, but I always found that the Leprechaun was in random places just at random times. The structure of the film doesn't seem fully legit. It just seems kind of goofy. Maybe it was edited. I don't know. There's something weird there. It just seems like it's not proper. Do you guys understand? You feel me
Yeah,
on
I
that?
kind of feel that.
Yeah.
So I think that I actually like this one.
Interesting, considering it was voted the third worst sequel of all times, according to
Really?
Entertainment Weekly.
I actually like this one less than the first In the Hood film.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
What?
I'm not 100% sure. Like,
Because
the
Grandmaster P isn't in
very
it.
Postmaster P.
Postmaster, sorry.
The very first scene in the film, is it CGI blood coming out of the
Yeah,
dude?
it is, and at the end of the film too.
Okay, because it's fucking bad.
Cube
It
too
is
bad.
so piss poor done. At first I was like, I actually rewound. I'm like, that's fucking C. I'm like, wow, that's so bad. Like,
It's Lionsgate. What do you expect?
this is like yikes.
I found this one to actually have, out of all the films, this one actually had the most well-written jokes, like legit, like funny, like punchline type jokes. Um, like I thought the character that Rory, I thought he was hilarious, dude. He had me cracking up, man. Just he wanted like
I like
his
the salon
reactions,
kills.
like when they was like telling him, you can, everybody gets the gold, but you can't buy no bud with it. Like his reaction was just like, what? Like, what do you mean? It was
But
great.
Speaking of that
love
dude,
that character, man.
one of the fucking most ridiculous scenes in the film is the scene where he's in the kitchen making the sandwiches and a leprechaun is fucking
Yeah.
behind him, and like he just doesn't see him the whole time, and then he ends up knocking him into the fridge. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck is in this scene, man?
Dude, the best scene of this movie is the scene where the leprechaun smokes this time. It is so golden. It's so well played by both people. Like he's like, you cool, man. You cool little dude. Like it reminds me so much of like real people that I've met. Like it is so funny, man. He's like, you know what? I like you, and he's just chilling there smoking with him. And then he just drops his little gold shilling, and he's like, oh no, don't worry about that. That's none of your business. And he gets all serious. He's like, is that me gold?
Of course they had to throw in the movie, like they get this gold and they just go hood rich, man. They just start buying fucking everything and they're just living it up. It's it made me laugh, man.
Yeah.
Another thing about this movie that there's the leprechaun's not rhyming again. There's no rhyming in this film.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe is this? I mean, which one do you think this is? Kind of connected to, JP? Because like some of these films, it seem like they're kind of connected.
Well,
but this one doesn't have rhyming in it. That it kind of annoys me actually. I like the rhyming leprechaun. I think it's funny.
I think that this one is. I think it's funny because it's called Back to the Hood. Like the one time where they try to like actually connect it, and it absolutely has no connection.
No, and that's exactly good point. There's no
like they couldn't even connect it to the same like line of sequels.
I know it technically is supposed to be a sequel to the last film, but the continuity is not there.
They even used two, like part 2, like Back to the Hood.
No, it's Back to the Hood, not the Hood.
Okay, I apologize.
Yeah.
Small minor detail.
Get your rap.
Yeah, and the thing I found funny about this one, they actually have a real rapper in this film in Sticky Fingers, and he of course is not rapping in this at all. I just thought it was kind of
nobody's rapping in this one.
Yeah, no one's rapping
like that.
But yeah, maybe that's actually a good thing. But I don't know.
I've never heard worse rap in a movie than part 5. That was just so awful, man.
It is bad. It is bad.
It's painfully bad.
But I think
this one.
Yeah, I think the leprechaun in this film is a little darker than In the Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think so? I think he's a little darker in this one. I think this kills a little more.
Yeah.
I would almost say a little more serious than the last one. It's just
most of the films actually. I think.
Actually, yeah, it seems kind of like serious. But this movie has its goofy ass moments in it too, like the whole scene with the white guy, the fucking Jew.
Fuck you, dudes.
I love that scene.
This is the most stereotypical fucking scene. Of course, they have to have this white guy with this huge Jew fro. And, he's buying weed in the hood. And then he calls the black guy the N-word. And everything stops, right? And I'm like, yo, man, you don't use that word. It's my ninja.
Yeah, nobody uses that word anymore, man.
I thought it was
it's
so
now
funny.
my ninja.
But like right at that moment in the film, it just instantly felt like a '90s movie to me. Does this film not feel like it was made in the '90s? Like I
Not
feel
really
like
to me, though, honestly.
really, oh man, the soundtrack, dude, it feels so old and
It
like
feels like early 2000s, which is when it was made.
yeah, I don't know. I think this felt like late '90s, man. It just had that '90s feel to me
Hmm.
completely. But
Yeah.
especially that scene just totally reminded me of the '90s. I don't know. I don't know what it
Well,
is, but
it even has the post-Scream uh, artwork where it's like all the faces in a line with like Leprechaun in the background.
yeah, I mean, there you go. There's that '90s.
Uh-huh. So this one, honestly, I don't have a whole lot of problems with this one besides just, it's Leprechaun Back to the Hood. I think I hate the clovers in the weed thing. It makes no sense. It's just stupid. Um, and
Yeah,
I don't like I don't really like the relationship between Emily and that dude. Like I don't care. I just don't care about that. But
yeah.
that's it. Like I mean, I like everything else pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. The subplot with the relationship is it's kind of bland.
Every
Yeah, I think
subplot
all
in
these
every film
characters are
You
is
don't really
bland.
give a
good though.
yeah. You
I
don't
like
really
all
give
the
a shit.
characters.
Yeah. What about the? I think it's towards the end scene or the end of the film with the really piss poor CGI fire that they got going on there. Like the one, oh, so
Yeah.
poorly done. It's just
Why do they
so
use
bad.
CGI? It just blows my mind.
Yeah, but like for fire, like just burn something, man. Film it, burn it.
Well,
Or,
I thought that the opening. I actually thought that the opening, if we're going to compare them to any leprechauns, I think it might be like the first leprechaun. Like, this is the same leprechaun. Because it kind of had a similar opening with the priest, like throwing the leprechaun down and he was planning on burning him or whatever, how he planned on doing. I don't really know. But it was like similar to the O'Grady beginning.
Mhm.
Um,
I
I
guess,
actually,
yeah.
it was like a nice little throwback, it felt like.
But like once again, like like when they find the gold in this film, it's like, why the fuck is it there?
Well, because the park or the youth center that was being built, you get the
Yeah.
sense that the priest guy found his gold and was building that youth center, and then the leprechaun came and like screwed up his plans, and he just realized that he just had to sacrifice it and kill the leprechaun, and that's why.
Like maybe, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's he. They mentioned later that he was building the youth center, so he must have found
Yeah.
gold
I
because they was
guess.
like,
But that's
the
another
money
thing.
was
It's
gone all of a
you just have
sudden.
to. I know it's just one of those things where you just kind of have to maybe almost assume it, and you know what I'm saying? It's like just tell us for once.
Well,
Like we
they
got to
do.
figure
I
out
think
every.
I think it's fair to say they do drop lines though, because they say like once he died, the money was gone.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, if the money was gone, the gold was gone. That kind of makes sense.
Mhm.
I don't understand like what he did though. Like, what part of the mythology is this? He shoots, and the idea. Hold up. So he has clover water, okay, and he's sprinkling it like holy water. The fact that there's a clover printed on it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, I know.
It's like
Totally.
well, the audience needs to know that there's that it's clover water, so we gotta let them know. So they put a clover on it. It's like, you do realize like somebody had to manufacture that, right? Somebody had to either go get a clover sticker and put it on there, or somebody had to make a clover bottle. It makes no sense.
It's so bad. It's bad. But yeah, I don't know. I find I like this one a little less than part
Yeah,
five.
same.
You
It's still
know,
it's still not bad as part 4 though, but
No, it's totally not. Like
it's watchable.
do you like have a reason why you guys like it less? I think it's a much stronger film than Part Five.
No, you just had too big of a problem with
Postmaster P.
Postmaster P that you can't get over the fact.
But I mean, even this one feels like less cheesy and less like silly and
I
Yeah,
don't
less
expect
bad.
any.
Like, there's no bad rap stuff in it, man.
See,
There's so
I
many
don't think
scenes where they're singing. It's so
I
bad.
don't think I'm gonna like Leprechaun Origins because it's supposed to be like a dark, hard R rating. It's like I don't want to see that in a Leprechaun film. I want to see cheesy, bad, laughable, plot lines. And now they're coming out with like a new darker version of it. It's like,
I mean, the problem with In the Hood, though, it crosses that line of just too ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's just the idea that, like, I don't know how, like, to me, I don't see how, like, they let those guys embarrass themselves by performing that many raps in the film. Like it's almost like I feel bad for them. Like it's kind
Yeah,
of like
there is some pretty bad cipher sessions in that film. It's bad. It's really bad. But I don't know. What do you guys rate part
Back to the Hood.
6?
I give it a 7 out of 10.
7?
Wow.
Yeah, Back to the Hood's good, man. You guys didn't even say what's wrong with it. Like you haven't really said.
Well,
anything
I
that's
did. I said the structure seems very odd and awkward to me. It seems like the Leprechaun is in places where he shouldn't be. The CGI in the film
But
just
didn't it kind of feel like that in the Hood too a little bit? Like he would just pop up at this party and then he'd be over here. Like I felt the same way in the Hood.
I found it more noticeable in part 6 though.
I
That's
mean,
just
but there
me.
was literally scenes where, like, in the church where they were like, all right, let's pound it, let's do this. And then they look and the leprechaun's next to them. It's like literally like Scooby-Doo moments.
Yeah.
Like where he's just popping up out of nowhere.
Plus, I don't really dig the fact that there's no Leprechaun's not rhyming in this film.
It's like, that's the deal breaker right there.
Well, but I do like the fact that he seems a little dark. Like he's dark in this film. He seems like he's on a mission.
They definitely played this one way more serious. Like even the fortune teller, like he's an evil person. Don't take the gold and shit. Like they tried to play it like real serious. I kind of like that about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'd give it like 5.5.
I'll give it a 5.
So, yeah.
Okay. Oh, you already gave it a 7. But wait. Do we want to talk about Leprechaun Origins and what we hope it achieves as a film without Warwick Davis playing the character?
Well, that's the killer right there. It all depends on like how bad this Hornswoggle dude is as the Leprechaun. If they kind of go in a whole different way and he doesn't even look similar and it's like it's a different entity altogether, I think it's possible they could do something with it.
I think that since they are aiming for the the more darker and the less campy. So they say. So maybe he's going to play this off completely. Yeah, I think if he looks different and he plays it off.
I mean, what if he's like even just like more of a like that film Leprechaun's Revenge where it was more of a creature where he's not like talking or anything like Freddy, like he's just more of a creature. Like that might work. That could work.
I guess it depends on what the storyline is, though. Like, if he's trying to get his gold back and shit, do you think that he'd probably be talking a little bit like, "Yo, motherfucker, give me my shit back."
To get his gold.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I don't really know what to think of this. They're definitely losing points right away not having Warwick Davis in the film because I think Warwick Davis in all 6 of these films is good.
Huh? See No Evil 2's not getting a theatrical release. Interesting. I'm just looking at WWE films because we're talking about fucking origins.
I'm very impressed with the consistency in Warwick Davis's portrayal of Leprechaun throughout this whole series. I think it's from the first film to the last one. I think he's very consistent in how he pulls it off. It just never really changes. I think that's awesome. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Like I'm fucking been up for so long. I feel like shit. My stomach hurts.
You have any energy drinks today?
No, that's
first.
another reason.
Have to have some cocaine, man. Come on.
I didn't have a chance to stop anyway before I came home because I had to watch the Leprechaun movies. Well, one of them. But no, I mean, like, I don't know. I obviously go into these films way too much, but that's because I've literally seen these things, in the 20s, 30s times a piece. This is one of my favorite franchises. I've seen these films so many times. Like, so that I had a lot of time to really digest the Postmaster P character and the Bridget character. And after a while, seeing these films so many times, you start seeing these things that just really annoy you. And by this time, when I'm being more critical, like I really was annoyed by some of these people. So just to kind of defend my rant on Postmaster P.
It's fair enough. Like I've definitely seen the first 3 films more than I've seen the last 3. I mean, especially part 4. Fuck.
Like, I mean, I could quote lines from In the Hood and stuff. Like when Butch is like, this was actually a good line. He's like, yeah, man, we can be like Robin Hood, but instead we can be Robin in the Hood. Yeah. I love that line.
Yeah.
Is that it?
All right.
Yep.
I think that might be it.
Anything else?
No.
All right. So I hope you guys stuck in here for our second longest show, running in at a total time of 3 hours and 8 minutes long. No, 3 hours and 6 minutes long. I apologize. So, once again, thank you again for listening to the 13th episode of the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast. Next week, we're coming back with our normal schedule. We'll be doing, of course, news, mood swings, what we watched, and we'll be talking about Toby Hopper's. I'm so fucking tired too, JP. Tony Hooper's second film.
Toby Hooper.
Thank you, JP. Thank you. Second film, Eaten Alive, and then the week after that, I'm not sure what we decided on.
Is it break? Is that the break after that?
No, we have one more. We have Eaten Alive one more week, then the break.
Well, we'll talk about that next week. We don't.
All
have
right.
to
So you got one more show after next week, and then a break for Moodz because he's coming here, of course. And stay tuned to both our channels because there's going to be one long epic video coming up, probably the 3rd week of April, I would say. So stay tuned for that because it's going to be one epic fucking out and about. So stay tuned for that. And once again, thanks you again, everybody, for listening to the 13th episode of the Moodz 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy, a.k.a. NESRuler22. If you want to follow me on my channel, you can do so at youtube.com/NESRuler22. If you want to follow JP, a.k.a. the man who hates Pee Wee Herman, you can follow him over at his channel at youtube.com/doubleshotj. And you want to follow the man himself, Moodz, just click subscribe right below this video where you're viewing it now, unless you're viewing our podcast over on iTunes. If you are viewing it over there, please give us a subscribe and let us know what you think. And if you want to follow us on our sponsors, is that what we're going to call them? Sponsors?
Well, or like partners.
Partners. What is it? All Things Horror, right, JP?
KnowYourHorror.com and thedevilseyes.com. You can find us there. Also, if you're listening to this on iTunes and you want to communicate with us, we have a email address at 22shotsofmoodsandhorror@gmail.com.
And please also, if you don't want to email us, you could always catch us over at Facebook at the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast fan page. Just as to be accepted, and we'll accept you over there. We talk about shit in there every day. A whole bunch of great people.
Always shit popping off in there.
Always shit popping up in there. So.
And just a quick reminder, the question of the week: if you are still listening right now, you're a fucking soldier.
Nobody's listening. Nobody is listening.
But that is going to be your top 5 endings, which I'm sure one of your top 5 endings is probably the ending of this podcast right now. But it's been a long one. But if you are still with us, that's awesome. And yeah, top 5 endings next week. It's going to be fucking very curious on these ones.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious. I have to think about this one. That one's going to be kind of hard. I have to look at my movies and think about that long and hard. But thanks again, everybody. Hope everybody had a safe weekend. Everybody, please be safe tonight on St. Patrick's Day. Do not drink and drive and be stupid.
Don't text and drive either.
And don't text and drive. So, everybody enjoy their St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy your brewskis. Enjoy your drinks. And we shall talk to you guys again next week on the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast.
Peace.
See you guys later.